Welcome to Game Changer World. John, how are you doing this evening?
I'm doing great so far. It's been a very, very crazy last weekend. There was a lot going on. So I have to say, I feel pretty good. We got that debut show out of the way. The nerves for both of us, I think the levels are down now. And I feel like we can kind of slip more into what makes us comfortable. As far as we know, hopefully no crazy guests getting upset at us. Nothing like that. It's just me and B doing what we know best for the last 3 years. So tonight, that's what's really happening here. That was a long thumbs up. How you doing tonight, B?
I'm doing good, and I will kind of second that. I'm trying to be a little nicer on Twitter. I don't need any more people coming after me. I feel like there's a hit list coming out, and I want to try to be a lot nicer on Twitter. I got to talk to Ivan, though, see if we could change that Fuego KJ out of that video and get something else in there.
Well, I just want to say good evening to everyone. Here we are. Good evening to Clown. We have Reed Harris Cooper, Doubles, and the Bears. Yeah. Rest in peace, George Wendt. And who else do we have in here? I see Great One. That's our West Coast correspondent. He's in here. Good to see you tonight. The Wolf Zaddies are at the Dodgers game. That's kind of cool. All right. There we are.
Comment. I was like, that would be interesting to watch.
Welcome. And who else we have here? Zach Minger. Welcome. Look at that. All right, here. So we have that. And I'm just going to also say in our intro here, please like and subscribe if you haven't already. Hit the bell if you want notified when we go live. Super chats are now available if you want to donate. And always thank you so much for choosing to spend your time with us. So just tonight, sit down and relax. You're amongst friends. And together we are going deep into the night. We have a lot to cover. I feel this will be a great show. So unless we have something else going on, do you think we should kind of get started with the news here tonight, B?
Yeah, let's get on into it because we do have a lot to talk about tonight. That's for sure.
Absolutely. Okay, so I just want to hear from everyone in chat. I want to hear their best answer. So far, GCW has hosted 25 shows this year. Who's the top wrestler that has had the most appearances at GCW so far in 2025? No peeking. Who do you think has the most appearances for GCW in 2025?
Are you asking me? Sorry.
Anybody? Actually, chat. Darren Walker, welcome.
I'd have to say Jimmy.
Jimmy Lloyd, there's an answer. KJ, let's see here. Josh Costello, also Jimmy Lloyd. We have Murdoch is in on this one.
Yeah, Murdoch.
See if we have any more before we move on. This one's kind of a surprise. Actually, Reed Harris Cooper got it right here. Alec Price has been at 25 of 25 strictly GCW hosted shows this year. In second place would be Masha Slamovich at 20 and Effy at 18. So that stretches really that far out. And then when you want to look at wins, the most wins at GCW, 19 by Alec Price, 18 by Masha Slamovich, Effy at 16. So bam, bam, bam. All of them are in the 1, 2, 3 slots in both categories. Something else that I think is kind of fun for everyone to know, Matt Tremont has 4 no contests in his 14 matches in 2025 at GCW, and that is double anyone else on the roster this year. I think we have maybe 11 or 12 no contests off the top of my head. He accounts for about a third of them. Just announced a few days ago. What's up?
I'm not to interrupt you, Ishmael. I'm asking. This is legit. I'm asking here. When he was wearing in that intro, if he's wearing the mask, can I call him Fuego when he's wearing the mask, or is in now any past mention of him? Is it now KJ moving forward? I'm just asking a legit question there because, like, I said Fuego because he was in the mask in that video. So I'm trying to dot my I's and cross my T's here, not to make any more people mad at me, as Reed was saying. All right, while we wait for an answer there.
Well, I just say that, when they're in their character at that time, that's their, that's who their persona is, and you address them as such. So I would say that, yeah, if he's in the mask at that time, he would be Fuego. But when he is, there you go. That's a good way to put it. Just like Prince.
I'll start doing that. Okay, I'll start doing that just to save myself here. I like this one. Great one. Yeah. Hopefully Matt doesn't get any draws at TOS here.
No. We don't need that. We're looking forward to a good TOS called Straight Down the Middle. Just announced a few days ago, Priscilla Presley. I almost said Priscilla Presley. Priscilla Kelly will be coming to GCW on July 11th in Dallas and July 19th at Coney Island, New York. Tickets are on sale for Dallas now. Also, Elena Black returns to GCW June 20th in Little Rock, July 5th in Hartford, July 11th in Dallas, July 19th at Coney Island, New York, and August 1st in Rutherford, New Jersey. I know those are some exciting additions to the GCW roster, we'll say. Any thoughts whatsoever on either of those two ladies coming over to GCW and making it happen?
I'm excited. Like they're fun and interesting. I'm surprised they got let go. And I think I know we've seen Priscilla Kelly on GCW and Elena Black as well. So it's going to be fun to see. And I want to see like how Elena comes back, if she goes to come back in their characters, like how the kind of their old names were. It's going to be nice to see those characters kind of come back without the WWE kind of holding them back and letting them kind of be creatively free in this sense. And I think those two creatively free, they were interesting enough to get signed. And I think they're more interesting now that the shackles are free.
I think it's like when Moxley went over before AEW was AEW and took that first shot to the back, and you just saw his eyes wake up and he went, oh, this is a whole different ballgame. I'm really hoping to see both women go over to GCW, rip off that Band-Aid of what they've always been on TV, and then just fly. Like really just take everything off their wings, let them just fully kind of extend and fly, and let them show us what they're fully capable of with no guards on either side. That's what I'm looking forward to. Now we are only 18 days away from Tournament of Survival on June 6th. Our list of 8 entrants is set. We have Matt Tremont, Dr. Redacted, Daiju Wakamatsu, Mr. Danger, Beastman, The Bev, John Wayne Murdoch, and Otis Kogar. I also want to mention there will be the Deathmatch Hall of Fame later that night at 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Pacific. TOS is down to basically GA tickets only, so I recommend if you have a chance, please jump on those because I don't know how many GA are left. I kind of almost wish I would have asked Brett before I came on. But yeah, if you're looking forward to going to that show, or you kind of know that you're going to be there, I would jump on those. I mean, if you're a listener at this point, you're a hardcore fan. Just jump on it while you can or when you can. As soon as you get the next paycheck, just hit it because yeah, there are no more seats. So just a heads up on that one. Now that next day, June 7th, Cage of Survival 4. Some announced matches. We have Joey Janela versus Atticus Kogar in a dog collar match. We have a Cage of Survival match. This is right up both B and my alley. Ciclope versus Miedo Extremo. I'm really looking forward to seeing how far that goes. There are also appearances set for Masha Slamovich, Bear Bronson, Mickey Knuckles, and Lil Sicko. Also on this one, there are currently seats available as close as the 4th row. So there is a little time there, but same thing. If you're trying to get a seat, just jump on it. I did not see a 5th row option. Just trying to give you a heads up there if you were interested in going to those. Anything you want to say about anything about that, B, before I go on?
Brett's tweet on I didn't get it. I said I was clicking it. I was clicking it. Brett's tweet saying like COS is kind of not even fully announced yet. And yeah, just after those two, that's a strong 2-card matchup to already start the sales. And I'm excited. I don't know. I was looking at flight tickets there, and looks like it can't cost too much to get there. So yeah, I'm looking at it, and COS is definitely looking very strong in TOS. I'm excited to see what's going to happen there. Tremont is looking hungry for sure. That's a pretty strong and hungry 8 so far, going 7 going after him.
And I don't have any Coney Island info currently. I don't really know if there is anywhere
tickets
listed
on sale tomorrow.
Oh, it's good you asked. There you go. Tickets on sale tomorrow. I think those generally turn on at what?
I'm sorry, Friday at 10 a.m. Yes.
Friday. Okay, so there you go. And I'm thinking maybe Patreons might get that a day early if they're at the right spot. Fire J Media, Ivan is in here. If you like the intro, that's who it had come from.
Yo,
He said, don't forget, gentlemen, Masha versus KJ just announced for COS for the JCW title. That is wicked. That's going to be a wrestling match.
Adds about another 20 minutes to this podcast tonight, because I totally forgot about that.
Thank you so much, Ivan. That was something that just went right past my radar there. Wow. Yeah, that's going to be a wrestling match. I'm predicting 15, 16 minutes on that one. A good back and forth. Do you think Sam Stackhouse may get involved in some way here? Because I know that according to what he said on Twitter, he is on a warpath. He said that I might not have done what KJ said I did, but everything from here forward is on me, which means he's got something going on in his head there that's coming. So what do you think?
KJ with this new character, kind of using some of that AEW money that he had, being the Foxcatcher, being affiliated with the Foxcatcher. I know we just got a new JCW video for the Foxcatcher and Matt Makow versus Masha coming up in the future. But yeah, that's skipping this title defense. I don't know. Yeah, I guess Sam, I could definitely see Sam coming out and costing him the match and seeing where that ends up. I could see Cage's Survival next year being KJ and Sam Stackhouse. That would be fun.
I agree with our West Coast correspondent right here.
Yep.
KJ's not winning the title, but he is getting protected. I think that's where Sam comes in.
If KJ does win, I wouldn't mind seeing Sam being the first one to get get his hands on that title.
Oh man. Not against that whatsoever. Right here too. Is there a possibility that KJ hires someone on the side?
Yeah, someone Holiday likes money. Yeah, I don't know. Foxcatcher got interesting, that's for sure though.
Well, I'll go into the next thing here. We had a little fan poll. I kind of like adding this to the show real quick. I asked our fans what their thoughts were on Big Time from Joppa, Maryland, that we're about to talk about here shortly. And I put a ranking of 1 to 10, and it ended up averaging out to 6.74 average ranking, which is actually pretty darn good. 47% of people actually said it was an average show, 5 to 6, and 44% said it was above average as a 7 or 8 out of 10. So I wanted to go ahead and put that out there real quick. Now, onto this Rochester show that was run for it. That ended up being an average of a 7.58. Only 17% of the people gave this an average of 5 to 6. 41% gave it a 7 to 8, and 36% gave it an excellent 9 to 10. So that's just one of those things where if you listen to the review tonight and you haven't seen the show and it sounds interesting, it probably is. I had a fantastic time doing the write-up on that one. B, I'm guessing you probably really enjoyed that Rochester show also. Now you got bit, motherfucker.
Now I got bit. We did
professionalism abounds.
I was definitely happy with especially the Rochester show. It felt like an old GCW show, and that Tremont versus Mance Warner. That was a fun one.
Also here, I want to put this up. Jimmy Lloyd's insanely underrated. That's something I spoke about in the match with him and Jonathan Gresham, because I was kind of expecting one of those under the radar true wrestling matches here. Now I know he went out to get weapons later, but that's what I was looking for. I was looking for one of those matches where Jimmy really flexes that muscle that we don't always see. So yeah. East Coast correspondent Frankie's in the house. B got muted. Everybody. Oh, we need a drinking game. I like that.
No, we
got
don't.
The classic Game Changer World mute. Is JJ Escobar coming to GCW? I think we've seen JJ at the 4th of July, the backyard events. I think that's where we mostly see him at. And I think that's the last time we've seen JJ was there. Unless there was a JCW show. Was there maybe? I mean, I'm not going to look it up, but just off the top of your head. Okay. And yeah, there's Great One also saying we have a backyard show coming up. So I would say, Scudder, definitely watch out there. That's probably where you're going to be. And yeah, East Coast Corner said, this is why I love our chat. He's checking for us right now. So he'll get an answer for us real quick. He's damn good. We've got the best chat in the world. It's good and bad. It keeps us honest. You know what I mean?
Yes, that's for sure.
Oh my goodness. Okay, so we'll actually get back to, he says, I don't think JJ will be well suited for a JCW show. Yeah, I feel like I saw him once, but I could be wrong on that one. I'm not really 100% sure. You know how it is. Me and B, we watch so many wrestling matches. It's like they all gel together. Once they hit about the 3 to 4 week mark, if there's not something really crazy in it, they all kind of gel together into one big ball, and
Yes,
and we sleep on it at night. Okay, so I'll go ahead and just kind of move on, and if Frankie does get an answer on that, we'll just kind of post that up so everybody kind of knows what's going on there. All right, so what do you say we run into this first show?
All right. Our first show we are covering tonight is GCW's Big Time from RJ Arena in Joppa, Maryland. We're going to play the little intro video, recap video, and then we will get on to the review. All right. So yeah, there we go. Right into the GCW Big Time from Maryland. Now who's got the mute button? At least I had sound on my video.
I'm that, you know what? I deserve that though. I was saying you're the one, and now I'm the one. All right. So this was GCW's Maryland debut, broadcast live from Joppa, Maryland. That's roughly a 45-minute drive northeast of Baltimore, Maryland. This was a packed house with good energy from the crowd all night. We had Brett, MLJ, and Veda Scott on commentary throughout the show. Something tells me Ash was having issues juggling the audio off and on. Definitely not his fault. This was also a new arena. Not easy to deal with. The cameras were good. Also, there were no zoom issues that we had the previous weekend that he said was a lens that went bad. The show opens, and I love that big MCW Pro Wrestling signage that was on that back wall, the main cam. I've always been big about having those huge letters in the back. I don't know if that was a sticker or a light on the wall. I'd love to know, but I mean, overall, you're a venue guy. I like the place. What did you think?
Yeah, I wrote the venue looked pretty cool. I kind of found it funny. I thought GCW was trying to pay homage to us with the muted Sabu video, but gotta hate copyright. Copyright's a bitch sometimes. But no, I like the actual venue. They looked kind of more professional. I like the blue in the background, and I definitely enjoyed the aesthetics of it.
Just put in here. Sup, Caleb's in with us. Good to see you. Caleb? All right, so. Yeah, he said, Reed said, I think it's like a metallic sign or a painting. I don't know, but yeah, I'm a sucker for that. It looks good. That's what helps right there is when you own the building. I didn't know that also. Thank you so much. Yeah, there's Ash. GPW just letting us know that was, we love you, Ash. It's good to see you. Let's see here. I think that was all I really wanted to say about this one. You want to just kind of head into the first match? It looks like we're already 22 minutes into the show, huh?
All right. Our opening match was for the GCW Tag Team Championship as Young, Dumb, and Price versus Bang and Matthews. I got to get used to that name.
Okay, so since we have Ash right here, I want to ask, did the camera person fall on the Bang and Matthews entrance? I was kind of wondering there because I saw it go out for a minute. I went, what in the hell happened there? I thought there was just a small collision or maybe someone tripped over something. Not really sure there. He's already probably getting an answer together for us. This was Bang and Matthews' 33rd time at GCW, coming all the way from Chicago. Bang and Matthews, I think, has really grown on me over the years. I know we were kind of big proponents of them early, but they've become more of a stable, I think, when we see him on there. It's like Midwest or East Coast show, we're seeing him, it seems. Okay, let's see here. He said, not that I remember, but he was dancing during a few entrances and Danger knocked him over. So yeah, I was going to talk about that later too. Yeah, Danger took that little dive there and boom, out he went. So you know what? We had a camera person with a little bit of sass. That's cool. All right, here. So I'll go ahead and run back to this real quick. I did love the matching Young, Dumb, and Price dark green gear. Bang and Matthews were in matching Kelly green. The problem, all four are wearing green. It can get somewhat confusing to newer fans. Not a big deal because that's not generally the wrestler's fault. Sometimes the booker puts the match together that night, and they got called. So, let's see here. Another thing I wanted to mention, what was it? Oh, yeah. Young, Dumb, and Price are the 22nd holders of the GCW Tag Team Championship in the modern era. I don't know if anybody knew that, but now we know that. Fun, fast-paced match. Everyone you should see in a match where the median age is around 25. Fans were solidly behind Young, Dumb, and Price. It took until about the 11th minute, and that's when the GCW chants started rolling in. And our winner here, they still retain Alec Price and Jordan Oliver. What did you think about this match, B?
I have a lot of similar opinions here. I wrote, happy to see the matching gear color again from both teams actually in this one, since as you said, they all were green. I thought that was pretty funny. I've said before, and I know we've said before, and you kind of just said it out right now. We would like to see Bang and Matthews kind of feud for the tag team belts on whoever's been champions in the past. We've kind of always called for them to challenge for the belts, and I think this match is another example of why they're a strong tag team that could have a fun feud with whoever the tag team champions are. One of my past criticisms of Jordan's offense was always the striking, and I thought he needed to make it more lethal. And I think since he's been back, he's been lacing people with his kicks and drop kicks. Like he's definitely the striking game has improved for Jordan being back, and I love to see him still improving during his downtime, being injured. He still improved his game, and it's been nice to see. Once again, as you said, a high-paced tag team title defense match in this one. I think Veda did a great job putting over Bang and Matthews about getting title opportunities in the past and being so close every single time, but they keep on earning more opportunities because of their great performances. So, yeah, I agree with you. I love this match. I wouldn't mind seeing it kind of turn into a feud.
Well, there was one more thing I wanted to mention, but I wanted you to kind of say what you needed to say first, and then I was going to throw it back at you here. One criticism, I'm actually looking for a story out of Young, Dumb, and Price. I feel like they need a struggle or a major mountain that will further solidify them as a team in the fans' eyes. And I'm hoping either the tag champs kind of spend time coming up with a storyline, or Brett comes up with a storyline for them. I'll even take a copy of the East-West Express run if it garners the same results. The second thing I'm looking for are those team moves. I just wanted to say keep those coming. But on that first mention there, when it comes to giving them a major story, do you agree or disagree? And if you do agree, who are you thinking might give them, who would give them their Motor City Machine Gun, like, they just have the match with them and instantly as a tag team, they're better?
We're gonna get to this kind of later on the show. They kind of Atticus with his little Vandal 48 video kind of teased them kind of going after those tag belt and Masha's JCW belt. So I wouldn't mind seeing that as well, especially now we got a third person with the Cogers. I would like to see a feud. I think every title just needs to have a feud always. I think that's what carries the stories, what makes the belts, as you said, kind of their one thing during their title run for with Nick Rain, the East Coast or East West Express. I think that was, they didn't really have any stories other than defending the belt against or capturing the belt against the Motor City Machine Guns, and then kind of like the way they lost it didn't feel kind of like a authentic one. I don't know. I just feel like stories need to make it happen, and I wouldn't mind seeing. I've kind of said it before. Kind of, I as you said, the East West Express, a copy would be fun, but also with a little twist at the end, have one of them turn on each other to create a feud. Because I think these two could carry a company on a feud, and just as a tag team right now, it's going to be fun to see. And they kind of build the crowd up to a big turning point. I think is going to be fun, but if not, Vandal 48 would definitely work for story, or that's really the only team that kind of makes sense right now for me off the top of my head.
What do we had here? Yeah, Clown said Otis and the cousin. The cousin you're speaking of there would be Christian Napier. We're going to speak just a little bit more about him tonight when we get to that section. That's going to be an interesting talk because being from Ohio, I have a little bit of a background on them, and I wanted to kind of share that tonight strictly with our listeners. So I'm going to really be looking forward to getting to that a little bit. But that was pretty much it for this situation. I think it was another good this is another good matchup because both teams were young, and I noticed that GCW's been putting that tag team championship on first. And you have Price out there, just any more hype and his head would blow off. So I think it's a perfect matchup here. I don't really see a reason to move them off of that opening position on the card. I think they're exactly what people like, and they both give it to the fans in handfuls.
Yeah, they're high energy. It gets the crowd into it right away. Every single match so far, as you said, the openers have been strong. Our next matchup was a four-way match, as it was Bobby Flacco, Alan Angels, Chris Slade, and Junie Underwood.
All right. Alan Angels, first thing I'm going to say, and I'm always going to say it, technically sound. Always has, always will be. I love and appreciate the heat magnet that he is. I'll just leave that there. This is Chris Slade's GCW debut. He's from Washington, D.C. area, mostly seen at Adrenaline Championship Wrestling, MCW Pro Wrestling, and Pennsylvania Premier Wrestling. He's a 3-time champion and has a serious lockdown on his region. He's participated in 9 tournaments in his career and has been in the finals all 9 times and winning the most recent 2 tournaments in a row. This match at GCW was his 150th recorded career match. I also wrote here for him, good presence and athletic. Welcome back to GCW, Junie Underwood. Last seen on April 6, 2024 at their GCW debut, Effy's Big Gay Brunch 9 as part of Team Peril. His match at GCW was his 201st recorded career match that night. And sticking his tongue out on the entrance was kind of weird, but I would say he's a good wrestler for only having 2 years under his belt. I have somebody he reminds me of, but the name slips right now. I'll kind of, give that one to you later. Poor Bobby came out, no mini bike, unfortunately. But he does have his riding gear on just in case, he has a chance to ride around. He started the match hot with a double drop kick, and without going into details, I just put that they did a good job keeping the action going here. Bobby hit a huge double foot stomp on Junie and covered for 3, and our winner was Bobby Flacco. This was kind of a quicker 4-way match. What do you think about this one? Was there anything worth mentioning, B?
Yeah, my notes are kind of quick on this as well. I wrote, nice to see Alan Angels back in the GCW ring. Same for Bobby Flacco. As you said, his energy is always infectious and always gets the crowd going. Yeah, Alan Angel still getting heat was was pretty fun to see, and I think he kind of could find a role in GCW with as much heat as he's been getting. The new names were impressive, and I've never seen them at all before, so I enjoyed what they did in this short match, but the ending sequence was what got me and won me over on them. That ending sequence was fantastic. And yeah, I was very happy to see Bobby Flacco get the win. I absolutely thought Alan Angels was getting the win there. And kind of Bobby Flacco winning kind of made me jump out of my seat and kind of pop a little bit. So it was nice seeing him get a win.
And I just want to maybe mention on the tail end there, I would like to see Chris Slade added to a few more dates to see how he does, maybe when GCW hits the region again, because I felt as a regional performer, especially, he showed a lot of promise. And did they have a good night, or is this one of those things where it could be a repeat, performance where in a 4-way, that was one of the ones who stuck out? So see what happens next time. And again, good job, Bobby Flacco, on securing another win.
Our next matchup is Miyu Yamashita versus Marcus Mathers.
I wrote, every time Mathers comes out, he looks more and more like a star. This was Marcus's 113th match at GCW. He's been with us since Effy's Big Gay Brunch, the original one, on October 10th, 2020. He was on 10/10/2020. He's currently a 3-time champion holder. He's the undisputed IWTV Independent Wrestling World Champion, 141 days, the Dreamwave Alternative Champion, 291 days, and the ETU Key to the West Championship, 661 days. He's appeared for 16 companies already this year. Miyu also has really been making her rounds. Just this month, she fought Maki Ito, Masha Slamovich. She's fighting Mathers now, and then fought Billy Starks that next night. Both got streamers. Both reluctantly shake hands as a show of respect. Miyu started pulling out her kicks and was wearing Marcus down by chopping away at one of his legs. He was noticeably affected by those shots. Minutes later, Marcus answered in kind by wrapping Miyu's legs around a post and worked her leg. Somehow, somewhere, Marcus became the bad guy you boo, and he was earning them. That's very rare. Maryland was all over Marcus. The last few minutes saw both competitors standing face to face and throwing blows. Our ending, Miyu set up Marcus with a couple stiff kicks to the chest. Marcus was on his knees, and Miyu hits Crash Rabbit Heat, which is basically a running single leg knee strike. Our winner in this one was Miyu Yamashita. B, what do you have to say about this? I'd have to say a stellar 21-minute match here.
See, I didn't realize the time. You said 21 minutes. It caught my eye there. I agree with you. Marcus Mathers, every time we've been seeing him as of late since this WWID program, has looked more impressive and has, I think, reached that potential we've always kind of been talking about. Everyone's been talking about him for a long time, and he just keeps improving and improving. As you said, definitely looks more like a star. Not thrown more looks like a star now than he did before. Sorry, great one. Yeah, I didn't know that match was thrown together the day of. I wrote big matchup here for Marcus. Love to see if Miyu adjusts her offense stylistically against Mathers. I've kind of, as you were talking about in her last few matches, I've been kind of asking for Miyu to kind of struggle a little bit more and give the opponents a little bit more offense. And Marcus definitely gave me that in this one. He was all over the place, working Miyu over in this match. And I enjoyed this match as well. Yeah, 21 minutes. Definitely didn't feel like it. Felt like a strong pay-per-view match, but man, 21 minutes is awesome because it felt like it was a good match that needed that time, and it delivered. Both have won me over the last few months, and this match definitely further improved that opinion. And I wrote it was going to be tough to beat this match after that one.
I'll also put here, Stoner Juggalo says, "What's up, fan? I'm late to the part." You ain't late. You just showed up. No big deal. I also, my last message here, I put, she's great. I'm happy she's here and hoping others learn something from the unique skill set that she's bringing to GCW. I still would have liked to have seen Marcus go over in this match. He has way more to gain in the US market and is in a better place professionally. What are your thoughts there? I see. That's okay. That's okay. Okay.
I'm right there with you. I think Marcus needed the victory more. I think Miyu actually is kind of at this moment the bigger star with the her work overseas, and her work over here has been impressive all over the place, not just in GCW. But I was interested to see how this one would play out because of that whole WWID thing. But I think that's been put to rest with everyone thinking WWID is going to have affecting on booking and who wins and who loses in this match. I think it was the right call. It made Marcus look very strong, but also Miyu kind of showed a different element in my eyes in this match than I've seen of her in past matches.
Right here, Guy, I would love to see Marcus as the male ID champ. I was going to say either that or Jack Cartwheel. Jack Cartwheel's another one that I think has something special and unique that I think should be on a pedestal for at least a while so that others have a chance to see what he's bringing, because what he's doing, I don't know if I've seen someone else do before. And it's something that I think he's been able to incorporate that cartwheel into so many things that, man, I know he's going to do great with the kids as soon as he gets in front of a more of a general audience. And I'm looking forward to that. I think Marcus also, same thing. I think he's going to do great in front of a general audience. I think ladies are going to like him too. Same thing with Cartwheel. I think across the board, they're going to do great in the long run.
I kind of agree with you. I think Marcus is kind of the prototypical WWID champ, kind of like the prototypical star that they're looking for and building. But Jack does provide something kind of different. My answer, actually, I didn't even think about Jack. I totally skipped over Jack. My answer was going to be, if it wasn't going to be Marcus, Jackson Drake's kind of been impressive to me as well. Yes. I think he's also Marcus is a prototypical face, and Jackson's kind of the prototypical heel for the WWID program. All right, next matchup is the one called Manders versus Gresham.
I found it interesting that they put two very wrestling heavy matches back to back on the card like this, but I'm sure there's a reason for it. What are you laughing about over there? I'm scared to know.
I should have taken your text on the notes. My first notes here. Another similar matchup like the one before, where the stylistics vary differently, and I'm very intrigued in how this is going to turn out.
But the other thing that I put in, outside of the fact that I found it was interesting that they did this wrestling heavy thing, was the fact that by matches 3 and 4, you're in the meat and potatoes of the card, you know, of the experience for the night. You're kind of in the middle of that. But again, I don't run the company. I'm just talking about playing with all the toys. Manders looks so much more confident than he did even 1 year ago. His gear's on point. He looks like an upgrade from himself again, even 1 year ago. I did have concern about Manders when he initially left SGC, because I'm like, okay, how's he going to land? Where is he going to land? Is he going to find his own feet? Yeah, Manders has found his own feet. He's even found his own aura. You can see when he walks out on stage now, he has a little bit of a star presence to him. I feel like winning that 16 karat really did, that WXW championship, I feel that really did wonders for his ego, confidence. How he felt, his confidence. Thank you so much, B. And I feel that his confidence now has grown enough to where you can almost feel it when he walks out. And that is, that's my dude. So I'm really happy for him.
I second everything you said there. I thought SGC, that was kind of like we said, like, where's that going to leave Manders? Like, we kind of hope Manders doesn't get thrown and left off to the side with Effy and the breakup and everything. And yeah, he's definitely came into his own. And I feel like he's got like more of a Stan Hansen. Like, he's definitely got that presence and aura, even more here in the States. But I think that confidence overseas and that kind of character and portrayal that he's been kind of doing helped him bring that back over here. And I agree with you. You said it perfectly. It's been awesome to see. And I wrote that down here too. I said, Manders has been on a roll the last 2 years, and I was excited to see him get another big match to see how much he keeps on improving over the last 2 years.
You know, it seems like every time he jumps overseas, he upgrades. He went to Japan, if you remember, and then he kind of got a little bit more of what a monster is. After he came back from there, you could kind of see, you know, we've watched these performers enough. We know when something changes. Yeah, that first trip to Germany did one thing, but that second trip that he most recently took, I feel like he really grew. I don't know if there was some training that went on somewhere or what, but I feel like another part of him unlocked. And once that part unlocked, more of the full picture was able to be seen. If that's a good way to put it, like another piece of the jigsaw puzzle kind of went into place there. I'll double Manders and Shire would actually be really good in GCW. I'm not against that. I really like that we got a peek of them in Las Vegas for just a quick minute. I didn't know exactly what we were looking at initially until I looked up who Shire was.
Same again. Yeah, that was my first time seeing him, and I'm like, whoa, this is a Manders tag team partner. Oh, shit, it is Manders tag team partner. And okay, that makes sense.
So I wrote in the story of Manders and Gresham. It was a little less than 10 minutes long. The first few minutes saw Manders overpowering Gresham. The fans were split between both men. Manders with a great job playing the bigger guy role with a move set to match. By booking, he should have been the heel, but fans love him too much. The 2 bear hugs by Manders was old school big guy stuff. We were just talking about some of that. There it was right there. Gresham started coming back by attacking Manders' left leg. He slapped in a figure 4 on Manders, took everything in Manders to get to those ropes to break the hold. I was going to put here just for fun, but did Manders lose his boot for a minute? Did I see that wrong? I don't know. Did he take it off to slap him with it? Do any fans know, or was anyone there?
I don't think I caught it, but that seems like something Gresham would do.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. I'm thinking like he did a little octopus thing and maybe grabbed a whole, one of the boots slipped off in process, right?
Yep.
So I'm being picky here, but Gresham should hide his talking just a little bit better, because man, was it all over camera. Again, sorry being a little too picky there, but it's a professionalism thing. Manders showed signs of his leg giving way. That was, of course, because of Gresham's work, but not enough that he couldn't deliver a huge lariat and cover for 3. Our winners in this one, again, in just a touch under 10 minutes, was one called Manders. B, Gresham's your guy. Manders is my guy, but you like Manders too. What did you think here seeing this matchup? Different than what you would expect on most cards.
Yeah, I wrote Gresham is Gresham. Great as always. We were kind of talking about Manders, but after seeing the Zack Sabre Jr. match, I was kind of excited to see how this match would play out. If it would be something similar or totally different. But yeah, once again, Manders delivers and Gresham puts on another masterpiece in technical wrestling. I love to see Manders continue his momentum with a huge victory over Gresham. This was another surprising one. I didn't think Manders would pick up the victory here, but I was happy to see it. Please, more of these last two kind of matchups we had and the different styles that delivered with great performances by great performers. This one was a match, as you said, right up my alley.
Okay, so I was talking in the newsroom. The newsroom is this little thing on on Twitter, our little DM thing with the East Coast correspondent, West Coast, me, B, whatnot. So I had an idea for a match type. I wanted to see what people thought about it, but I thought it would be interesting if we had a match where, and it's old school, but two wrestlers go at it, and the loser is the one who gets his boots taken off first. And I thought it sounded stupid as shit. And then I started to really think about it. And I'm like, oh man, there actually could be a lot to some kind of a match like that. Let's just say like it's a loser retires or a loser leaves the company. Well, then let them fight over who takes whose boots off first. And the loser has to keep his boots in the ring and retire. Like, it's kind of a cool thing. And there's a lot to it. I didn't want to get too far into it, but I thought it was just a fun little thing out there. And we don't really have a lot of unusual. Well, we have a lot of unusual, but we don't have a lot of different ideas. And I just wanted to throw that out there as just kind of a fun one to, to share with everyone.
I've never seen or heard that type of matchup, so it kind of makes sense as some of the stuff that we were kind of talking about in that chat. If some tweaks were to be made, it could be interesting.
Well, I mean, there's things like, what if the bad guy has a pair of scissors in his pocket? So instead of actually unlacing them, he just starts cutting them off, or what if we get halfway through the match and you look down and the face has one shoe gone and the heel has two shoes on? Like there's drama to be had. And again, our East Coast correspondent, he was like, yeah, I was fixated on how the psychology go with how the wrestlers would have to adapt with their shoes being fucked with it. Well, yeah, because what would high flyers do? Would people trip? Like if you're one of those guys who runs around the ring, are you going to trip and fall? So would big guys try to get those laces really loose so they would I mean, there's so much stupid but fun stuff to it. So yeah, it's no mom on a forklift match, but I mean, think of like a tuxedo match, the evening gown match, the bra and panties match, like those ones where the loser got stripped down. This is like that, but clean with boots. So, I mean, like I said, it felt like an old school match that someone would do, but I thought it would be fun in one of those, it'd be a stipulation for a specific story that we definitely don't have right now. So.
All right, our next matchup is a tag team match. The Koger brothers versus Joey Janela and Mr. Danger.
I was listening to Joey's promo from a previous week. He kind of has a late 80s, early 90s style of delivery on the mic. I would honestly recommend he leaves some space to breathe in those spots. His style is very Spitfire, and it's hard to breathe through that. I know because both B and I have to use breathing techniques when we're speaking on the podcast. This is basically knowledge that, a lot of speakers like to know. So I was just letting you know, I'm listening to him and I'm like, damn, how is he breathing? And he's not, like, he's sucking in air to get through it. So I'm like, it's okay to slow down just a little bit, take a breather and go with it. Because I mean, I can see though what he grew up watching in his promos. You can hear, and I can't say who because I cannot just put a name on one person, but his style screams, I grew up with this influenced me, and I can hear it. And I can tell you that because not a lot of other wrestlers sound like that in their promos. So when I hear something old school come out of the blue, like what he has, I had to, kind of call it out there. Atticus and Otis work well together. Otis has really come into his own. I do love this team, but I could use a few more Otis death matches so GCW fans know more about who he is and what he's capable of. So I also keep seeing this new ref. He looks familiar, but we see a lot of faces every weekend. I figured he's a local Maryland referee. I don't think more about it after that point for a little bit of time. Otis almost rides a touch on the demonic side, and I'd like for him to show that just a little bit more if that's in him. Not overdone, just a touch to give him a little extra edge. There were a lot of "fuck you, Otis" chants that I was surprised to hear. Not Atticus, but Otis, which was very interesting. Nice job on Joey for that Samoan drop. Very smooth. A minute later, Joey goes for a cover on Atticus. The ref counts 1, 2, and nothing. We have a "this ref sucks" chant. Joey jumps on a chair and hits the Sabu leg in a corner. He pauses to hit the pose. Should Joey, I'm just wondering, just because they shared that special match together, do you think Joey should incorporate that move into his moveset from here onward as a tribute?
Yeah, I could see him doing it. I don't know if he should or not, but I could see him doing it.
I think he looked up to him and they shared that special match together. If he decided to keep that move and just do a little look up as a tribute, it's like, it's like going up on the top rope and, doing the Eddie Guerrero, you know what I mean? So,
but see, for me, like when I see that, I guess like when I see anyone outside of like Rey Mysterio do it, I think it's kind of like corny and cheesy, but
overdone.
I get what they're doing. Yeah, I understand. Like, I'm not saying, like, I don't know. I just like when I saw Ray do it, it was cool. But then I see more and more people do it. It's like, okay. And I get what they're doing to pay homage for. So I guess I don't mind it. I don't want to be
but sometimes it's cheap pop. Sometimes it's cheap pop territory.
I just feel like how it would be for Joey, it would turn into a thing. So yeah.
But I mean, I'm just fighting for him. I wouldn't be against him incorporating something as a tribute, given how important what they both did together was to each man. Joey covers again, and the referee refuses to count to 3. Joey's now mad at the ref. The fans were restless. I wrote, "Who hired this ref, Brett?" He says he's getting angry messages from the fans. The crowd completely turned on him. Brett said he believes he's a local ref. I like how they're playing this up. It's much better than a simple 1, 2 and a fake 3 and he stands up and whatnot. This was kind of a let this thing slowly boil. And I think that was much better, well done than just an instant, screw you. It was fun to let the fans turn. I really enjoyed that. Let them boil for a little bit and then take them over the edge. So from a storytelling perspective, I think that was extremely well done. All the way down to the "kill the ref" chant. So, I mean, it really did build at some point. Joey plants Atticus on his head and Atticus stays straight up and down. Awesome sell. Atticus laid on a door bridge. Joey comes off the top with a chair. Danger flies out of the ring and onto the floor where Otis is at. Joey covers. The ref counts 1, 2, again refuses 3. He gives Joey 2 middle fingers. Joey rips off the ref shirt and he's wearing a Kogar shirt. The referee starts putting boots to Joey. Danger goes up top, pushes off Danger, and he smashes into the camera person. That's what Ash was talking about earlier here in GPW. Love the triple brain hemorrhage. The referee counts 3 and the winners were the Koga brothers. Let's go back to this real quick. I love the triple brain hemorrhage.
Absolutely. That looked sick for a trios finisher. I'm sorry. Like that one was pretty brutal. I loved it. I absolutely loved it as well.
So then I want to, go ahead. Go ahead.
My quick one there. Then I
please do. Sorry. Man.
No, you're good. I love the video leading into the match with Atticus kind of talking about the Mr. Danger stuff. I wonder what they're doing here with Mr. Danger and moving forward. Just because it kind of seems like, Joey's now kind of backing up Mr. Danger. I know he's got a big TOS coming up, but I was kind of interested to see how him being put in this kind of big storyline spotlight match, how they're going to use that to kind of build his character for TOS, and if that has anything to do with it. I could just be reaching there, but I just always wonder kind of what's going on with Mr. Danger here in this matchup. I thought this was fun. I was wondering also as well, I wrote here as this was happening, I was wondering why that ref looks new but familiar. I agree. Like I saw, I think there was another ref earlier in the night that was like somebody fresh off, like not a GCW person. And then I saw this person again. I'm like, oh, like it's someone new. Like I even thought maybe it was the same person and I missed it earlier. But then as you said too, before the first count even happened, like on one of the counts, they got like a good camera angle. I'm like, he looks really familiar, but I wouldn't even know his name. I knew at that point, like he looks really familiar, but I couldn't put my name on it. Why? And I'm going to kind of stop my notes here real fast. I'm going to go back to it. But I'm going to kind of go off a counteract you great one here and Reed and some other people. Like, we watch, like, you guys especially know way more wrestling about like those stuff and watch way more than what I do. I know of a lot of the stuff, but even I'm learning on weekly and you guys teach me everything. I can see you guys knowing who that is. 99% of that commission, or not that commission, I saw the word commission of that the Maryland crowd had no idea. And I'd say probably 99% of that Trailer TV had no idea. I'm reaching out my numbers there, but I think we are the, like, you guys especially are the know of the know. You know every single buddy. Like, Christian grew out his hair. He has a different hair. Like, as you were saying, I was looking up his old hairdo and stuff. Like, he did his hair long. He did it sideways. He didn't have the annoying little. He played his facial and referee character and like everything really good. I think to fool the non 1% of the 1% that know everybody and every wrestler. So I want to calm down on that little talk there. I like even said me knowing and seeing Christian and kind of being a little bit of a fan of the little bit I saw of him. I didn't recognize him right away and put the name to him, but he did look very familiar. So I'm going to cut some slack on a lot of people there on that one because I see what you're saying. It's a reach, but I didn't see any tats or anything on the shirt. And that's where I said, I've only seen a little bit of Christian Napier, not a lot of him. So you guys probably seen way more and know way more about it. But for me, Christian Napier and GCW was definitely a surprise of the night. I did not expect to see him in GCW, but I like it. I'll kind of go back to these comments. A lot of like, I don't know, a lot of people watch outside of the other companies and stuff. So you'd have to follow pretty deep involved to get to know who this Christian is. But I'm excited to find out the backstory, and I think we'll get to it later. At this time, I wrote this note, but hear the backstory of Christian Napier and his road to GCW and why Atticus decided to bring him in now when he already has Otis in his corner. That trio, I wrote that trio move to Joey was awesome. I don't want to do this, but I'm going to do this anyway. Sorry, KJ, but once again, story-wise, as you were kind of yelling, Atticus once again steals the night regarding stories and being the talk of the night. And while I wanted this feud to end between Atticus and Joey, like immediately, because I thought it was being dragged out, I retract my statement. This got my attention again in this feud. I wanted to ask you guys in chat if it leads to a. Oh shit! Here we go. I didn't say nothing. I was being positive, Otis. There's always a plan. Okay, so here goes into my next plan then, or my question about the plan. It seems like Otis, Vandal 48 have 3. We've seen Joey. We've seen Mr. Danger. Who would Joey bring in as a third to possibly go after him if it becomes a trios match? Mute button, just so you know. And we had to come up with the code word.
Okay, so that's wild. You know, honestly, that's wild. It's a wide open field, my friend. You know what I mean? It's a very wide open field. Who could be the third? And until they're added into the story, the third can be a very liquid person. It could be almost anyone plugged in there, unfortunately. I know that's a terrible answer, but I have a feeling that's the answer as of right now, unless someone's written in somewhere.
I'm sorry. What did you say? I was reading the chat. I missed the name.
I didn't have one, unfortunately.
Okay, that's what I thought. I didn't hear a name. Did I miss it or something? Okay.
No.
My name I came up with when I wrote this note. I think Dr. Redacted kind of fits in with the craziness of Mr. Danger and Joey Janela. I think Joey's going to need someone whacked out of his mind to kind of help go after the Cogers here. And Otis, there's a plan. So I'm interested to see what is the plan for this dog collar match. If Joey does recruit a third person to have his back during this dog collar match, if Otis and Christian are even allowed in it here. What did MLJ say? Just tuning in. I got to ask why he thinks I would know who Christian Napier is. I'm sorry. No disrespect. I was the same way. I agree, Rhett. Napier's not a name I've seen on GCW shows, related shows, other than if you follow what was happening with Atticus and outside of what was out of here. I don't think a lot of people knew who he was.
Well, I do my research, so I'll go ahead and kind of catch up everyone just a little bit on who Christian is. So Christian Napier, 24 years old, 6 years in ring experience from Cleveland, Ohio. Trained at the Nightmare Factory, that's under Cody Rhodes and QT Marshall. Also trained under Glacier and EC3's company, Exodus Pro. He's been called the wild card, and I think we're learning why. Some companies he's been featured on: AEW, NWA, Mega Championship Wrestling, Horror Slam, AIW, Paradigm, Circle 6, H2O, Ruthless Wrestling, and Ruthless Pro Wrestling. He was also part of 440 Blue. So I hope that kind of somewhat catches everyone up on who he is just a little bit more. So MLJ, I watched the old shit. That's our OG. So yeah, I just wanted to catch everyone up just a little bit. That's what we know so far. I do know a little bit more, and I will share that here shortly. I just wanted to put this much down. I wrote that I like the idea of bringing in a new member slowly. The fans especially have an initial fear that there may be another 440 situation, and I'll explain exactly what that means. There was at one point constant interference, getting matches thrown out, and there were too many members. We just got out of the Broski Cardona era where everything ended in a constant beatdown and no contests and the magic of running over by numbers. We also just got out of a 1-year Blake Christian run with a ton of no contests and a Masha run that has been unfortunately somewhat predictable. So we are tired as fans of too many run-ins and no contests. And I'm just putting it out there. Endings like that may fall flat. If you try to do those too many times, trust me, it's not you. It's not the story. It's going to be the fact that when you weren't here at that time, the fans had just had so much of that drilled into them. I would say probably a year and a half's worth. And that booking after about a year's worth started to frustrate the fans and actually killed the vibe for a while. I like having chaos in matches and beating people legitimately because that makes the Kogars as a group look like more of a threat. Also, fans respect that more. Dominance is dominance. Beat them in the ring. Now, of course, that's a face thing in your heels, but I'm just saying dominance is still dominance. Most of the time, no contests ruin the competitive part of the match, and the storyline and characters barely progress. My answer, go old school. Beat them relentlessly after the match. Go watch old school heat magnets from the 80s. Old WCW matches would end with the heels beating the ever-loving shit out of the babyface. Fans still got the match. You still got your heat and made your point. Everyone then go holes happy. Is there anything else you wanted to kind of say there? Because I just wanted to give the good and the bad and just kind of give my own little edge on it. And again, this is just a matter of opinion. And you know, I'm never going to second guess the artist because they are the artists here.
I'm the kind of the same way. I think I'm one of those big sticklers on wins and losses do matter. And yeah, when matches are thrown out, unless it makes sense, it does get frustrating, especially as you said, as often as we were seeing it for certain wrestlers for certain situations. I'm all for it. Yeah. To get both people over, let whoever's going to win get over with the victory, but then whoever needs to get over afterwards, heel wise, cause their destruction and chaos and get the heat afterwards where it doesn't affect the win loss. The winner still gets the momentum and rub of the win. And then now the heat comes on the heel after the match and they still get the heat. And as you said, everyone kind of goes home happy. I think there are other ways to do it than kind of just the no contest to kind of save no winner, no one lost, and kind of stuff that we'll be talking about here a little bit coming up. But I think wins and losses do matter. So yeah, I don't like these no contests. We talked about before when we kind of first saw them both show up or Otis show up. And we were kind of talking about the rest of the crew possibly showing up, how we don't want that. I still feel similar and the same, but I'm very interested to see where this new group goes because it's new blood. And as of right now, not too many members involved in it, and they haven't caused too much ruckus, but we will see how this plays out over the next couple of weeks with Vandal 48.
And where they're at right now is not disruptive in a way that I'm talking negative whatsoever. What I'm saying is strike that balance and do this intelligently, knowing maybe if you didn't, that the last year and a half, we've been pounded by no contests. So just know that ahead of time and know that a lot of those no contests that the fans had went through were in major storylines. So don't think that it's just like, well, this was just match 3 on that. No, I mean, major storylines, championship storylines had these types of matches where just no contest would happen a lot. And that's not always bad, but you know, a cheeseburger is only good so many times in a row before you get sick of the cheeseburger. It's the same thing here. I think the Kogars are going to paint excellent with a brush of black paint, but you know what's going to make the black paint look beautiful is going to be the contrast against the white. So as long as they strike a beautiful balance here, I think that they're going to have something really, really special. By any chance, do you have that Kogar video that Atticus recently had released?
Yeah, let me get that up here.
Yeah, not a problem. Cool. Because I think that there was a ton of points that were made in that video, and I would like to talk to you about those and get your opinion. I think you might have some interesting opinions.
All right, we got it ready here.
Thank you, sir.
Yep.
I warned you, Joey. I fucking warned you. Every move that I make, I'm 10 steps ahead at all times. You introduced yourself to my brother Otis on New Year's Eve, and both of our lives haven't been the same since. Well, you know what? Let me introduce you to our cousin.
My name is Christian Napier, and what you saw last night, that wasn't a debut. That was a warning shot. I've been running alongside Atticus and Otis for years. This isn't some made-up story. This isn't some make-believe indie faction. This is real fucking life. This is Vandal 48, and now it lives inside of GCW.
This isn't no handshake alliances. This isn't no merch table friendship. Hell, this ain't even no green and black henchman shit. We are actual family. We don't do business. We handle our own. I would take a bullet for these two, Joey, and I know they would do the same for me. So we all together made a vow to gut this place from the inside out. We ripped the mask off the actors, and we put fear back in the foundation. This company used to be for the ones too wild to tame, too violent to cage, the last real outlaws, right? And now it's just a stepping stone for soft-ass TV projects. I'm exhausted by this growing trend of contracted talent taking over the independent wrestling scene. The indies were never meant to be a playground for people who were already on TV. You want to know why indie wrestlers can't draw anymore? The indies were built for the hungry, the overlooked, the people that were crawling to the top. But every time I turn on my TV screen, I see Masha Slamovich's face plastered across it. And then every time I walk into a GCW locker room, I still see Masha Slamovich's face. So tell me, why does this TV star have a guaranteed spot on all the GCW shows? Is it because she's the so-called champion of New Jersey? Great job, Queen of Turd Mountain, Masha. Because from where I'm standing, that title doesn't mean a thing because you have it. So you know what? I'm gonna take that championship and turn it back into an independent wrestling championship.
That's a fucking
Okay.
video right there. That's a video, my friend.
Yeah. All right, where do you want to start there?
Okay. So let's go with what we know from the video. Christian Napier is his cousin. Vandal 48 is the group. He said he's not in a handshake alliance and shows Alec and Jordan. Very interesting. He said they're actual family. He'd take a bullet for them and vice versa. He wants to rip the mask off the actors and put fear back in the foundation. Can anyone disagree with that? We need that, don't we?
This promo is very similar to the one he cut in LA. Not similar, but like the meaning, the behind, like, and this is what he feels. I think this is how he felt before he left, and now he feels coming back. It's not what he thinks GCW should be, what it represents, what it is, and he's definitely got some points, as Reed Harris said and some other fans. No lie said. Some of the stuff he says, I will admit, I'm the guilty one. I like seeing the bigger names come and have a little fun and try out new things, bring some notoriety to our names. But Atticus said, like, that's a strong point. It's just blocking names to create new faces and to create people to build independent wrestling companies on. And that's why some people in the independent scene are struggling. And it is very hard to, just like how he cut that promo in LA, like going into the Jordan match, the Jordan match. It's very hard to disagree with what he's saying. And yeah, I know KJ said last time, I keep on saying how good Atticus has been, and sorry, he keeps on proving it, and the fans have seen it, and we're seeing it here, and it's another talking point regarding this show.
I'm with Clown. Turd Mountain had me fucking laughing. Okay, so the next thing was said here that was worth talking about. GCW used to be for the ones too violent to tame, the last real outlaws. And now it's just a stepping stone for soft-ass TV projects. Now, we rarely hire outlaws because a small portion of the fans on Twitter canceled some of them. We do know that's some of them, but here's the outlaw definition. Someone excluded from the benefits and protection of the law. Outlaws are beyond the reach of the law and were often hunted or sought to be captured. A fugitive who's declared outside of protection of law in one jurisdiction, but who receives asylum and lives openly and obedient to the local laws somewhere else. So, these are the ones with, the opinions that aren't always the most popular, or the people who are willing to do things in their performances that aren't, I don't know. I think we strike a good balance, but there are some wrestlers I would like to see more, but at the same time, others would not. I don't know, man.
I will kind of go back to that statement. I think what he's kind of talking about is like how when these soft ass TV people, they come to ours and they get hit with the light tubes, the extreme, the violence, they go and kind of complain and then kind of sully the name of the company that they were at. And I can kind of see what he's saying there a lot. And yeah, I think that's where I kind of got from that part of that promo was he just kind of like, I'm tired of these people. They say they're tough and they get the big money to act tough, but they're not the ones actually tough that and doing the work that they like Atticus and GCW and other people are doing.
His next statement, the independents were never meant for people who were already on TV. Wholeheartedly agree with that statement. That's a Sabu style fuck you to the establishment right there is what Otis just said, or Atticus had just said. Any disagreement on that part?
Like I said,
if you're a purist,
I'm the guilty one. Yeah, I'm the guilty one. I do like seeing the TV names come, but I get his promo and I get what he's saying, and that's his vision of how independent wrestling should work and everything. And in my opinion, I just have a little different view, but I absolutely see what he's saying.
His next statement, why no one on the indies basically can draw anymore? Because the indies were built for the hungry, the overlooked, the people that were crawling to the top. Also, no argument. I think, we're going to go deep for a second here, but also, a lot of the indies got picked through, and we didn't normally have so many large running companies at this time. We normally had only one or two majors here, then we had this over here, and now it's almost like we have small territories again. It's very interesting, but yeah, I think he made a very good point there. I'm not going to argue that one at all either. Now, he targets Masha here. He says, why does this TV star have a guaranteed spot on all the GCW shows? Is it because she's the champion of New Jersey? Again, Turd Mountain. Fantastic. He says, I'm going to turn that title into an independent wrestling championship. Okay, right there. Bravo. Let's go. A moving championship that goes everywhere and gets defended anywhere. Beating ass and dominating like a real champion should. And if GCW is the king of the indies, then it needs to prove that everywhere. Reminds me of the American Deathmatch World Championship over at ICW NHB. I really am surprised. Why didn't GCW jump all over that sooner? Obviously. But if he secures that title, which, we knew how that went, but if he secures that title, we know it'll have stories that we can follow, and possibly they bleed into other companies, and thus those companies bleed into ours or their performers. So to me, I feel like this would make the championship more universal. And I feel this is like GCW's version of throwing a net. You go watch a show over here, you can see a GCW match. That's pretty badass. But I don't know. This is the creative side of the art. We've spoken of similar ideas like up to in the past year. We talked about a 24/7 belt at one point. I know that I'm the only one maybe on that, but I still think it would be fun to see videos on Twitter, people getting wrapped up at fucking hotel rooms, bars, airplanes, people fucking taking dirty pictures with the 24/7 belt. Like, it could be so much fun, but that's a very independent thought.
What's your thoughts on Atticus saying he's going to gut the place from the inside out? What's he mean by that other than Joey at the moment?
If it means finding hungry individuals and he's going to, well, I mean, realistically, if he was going to call out the lazy, I'm all for it. I'm all for it. We need hungry. GCW, the independent scene needs hungry. And again, if GCW is the top of the food chain, then we need the hungriest, no matter who that is. Because that's going to give us the best show. And if we are the top of the independents, then we need to provide the best show. To provide the best show needs to bring in whoever needs to be brought in to do so. So, yeah, I would love to see Atticus in ways kind of expose some of these things. Why does Masha have her position as a champion? I think it's because she has the highest, notoriety, and she's always there every day for the job that she has to do, and she's a fighting champion and excellent wrestling, an excellent wrestler at that.
You think Atticus would go for the JCW title just to make a statement with that title and turn it into something that he believes it is?
Professionally, I think it would be good for him to have a run with it, to maybe get the see, he's done so much with the NHB championship that I don't know exactly what he would gain from the JCW championship. This guy might be bigger than that JCW championship.
I think he would be like a Naito in New Japan with that belt, just carrying it around, throwing it everywhere, demolishing it, kind of like making fun of it to turn it into what he thinks it should be. Yeah, I don't know. I that was my big takeaway. Was is he targeting Masha, and then does that leave Otis and now Christian to go after Young, Dumb, and Price? That video of, as you said, makeshift friendships, kind of creating tag teams, was an interesting comment as well.
Well, I wanted to add a couple more things because people know I'm kind of a details person. I'm, again, from Ohio. So I tried to get a couple details about Vandal 48. So yeah, it is said Vandal 48. This basically the name comes straight out of West 48th Street in Cleveland. That's where Christian Napier's late grandmother and the Kogar brothers' father were raised, was on West 48th. So they are all blood relatives. No kidding. Christian's their cousin. And basically, I mean, this is a blood group. That's just what it is. It's like they were born a gang legitimately. So that's what I do know about them.
Or if I lost you.
No, we're good. You there?
I'm here now. Sorry.
Okay. Was I gone for a minute there?
I both of my screens were shaking, so I don't know if it was you or me. That's what I think it's me. I'm seeing the internet sign on my end here.
Oh, that's okay.
Oh,
okay. Well,
sorry.
No, we're good. Hopefully most everybody heard that and we'll go from there. But yeah, I've found some interesting stuff about them, and I think there's a lot more to come. I definitely have a lot more to say when we review their second match on the Sunday show.
All right, that will lead us into our next match, as it is Greg Excellent with Mama Excellent versus Jimmy Lloyd.
Welcome back, Greg Excellent. I knew this guy's name sounded familiar. He had his GCW debut match with Effy, and I remember describing what was not exactly wrestling. Last seen on GCW's Aura 2024 on August 20th at Harris Casino in Philadelphia. He's a 13-time champion celebrating 24 years in wrestling. I like his music. He's fun. I'm a sucker for disco and 70s because I'm old. Mama Excellent was with him. He got streamers, and that speaks a lot about Greg and how the fans feel about him. I felt it was an interesting matchup. Most know Jimmy isn't exactly lazy in ring, but this ended up more of a comedy match between two beefy boys. Veteran referee Mike Keener did an excellent job all night. I love the older school presentation he has. You could learn a lot from watching him if you're a referee. Between Greg and Mike in this match, you got a lot of really expressive faces. We have a door that Greg propped in the corner of the ring. He eventually was speared through it by Jimmy. The whole time Greg is sick to his stomach, he goes over to the side of the ring and pulls the apron over his head like he's puking. And Jimmy looked concerned. Well, as his back's turned, Mama Excellent got involved and hit him with a Canadian destroyer. The crowd popped big and Greg covered for 3. So our winner here was Greg Excellent. Mama was way over with the fans. What did you think about this little fun match here? It was a fun match. Yeah.
Fun match, not for me. I don't remember seeing Excellence before, so that's why my first note was I never saw Excellence before. So apparently we saw him. I don't remember, so that's on me. Yeah, I just wrote wanted more from Jimmy in this match after the whole LA thing, a whole Cardona, super kicking Cardona, all those false finishes and the crowd fucking erupting and almost fucking beating Mance Warner, a former champion. And then you lose like this to Greg Excellence. For me, not for me. I want way more from Jimmy. This one didn't make any sense, like momentum-wise for Jimmy. I wonder if this is going to feed into that story. Cardona said, hey, you left me. You're back on scrambles and wrestling against these local yokels, and look where you are without me. So I wonder if this has anything to do with it. And if so, I don't mind. But other than that, if it was for Greg Excellence, the local, good for it, but I just would have used someone else other than Jimmy, just based off what Jimmy just got done doing in LA. I think this guy, and against Tremont, if I'm not mistaken, I think this just poo-pooed everything that just happened and all that momentum that Jimmy was going for. For me, definitely not for me, but good for Greg Excellence.
I'll just double our East Coast correspondent right here. The old guard of refs is dropping off. Nick Papagiorgio retired last week. We want to wish him the best. Another one that had put in years of effort that the non-smart fans really, overlook referees. So all the best to him. One hell of a performer.
Our next matchup is for the Ultraviolent Championship, as it is Matt Tremont defending the belt against Slade.
I'm seeing on entrances that Matt Tremont is getting the royal treatment everywhere he goes. He's earned it. Currently, he's a worthy GCW champion. He's blazing a trail to TOS, and 100%, this is a historic Tremont run. Please, please enjoy it. Slade is always a different monster, something about him that I like. I think he's a little rough around the edges in spots, but he's a good opponent with a good character that I feel fans really believe. Tremont jumping up and Slade diving underneath him and going head first through a door was one hell of a spot. Speaking of rough around the edges, Slade kind of let go of his chair and it luckily hit the ropes instead of leaving the ring. Both men were tearing the place apart, and Emil nervously was joking how GCW may never be back to Maryland because Maryland has tough wrestling rules. I was realizing this match was hardcore, not a death match. But again, both men were fighting in the crowd. A gentleman from the Maryland Athletic State Commission comes out and said to stop the match. They are fighting in the parking lot. I swear someone was listening last week. The camera went out into the damn parking lot with them. The match is over, but the fight wasn't. That was exciting. The match was thrown out, no contest. You know what? But this is our kind of no contest. It was more satisfying this way. With the fight outside, it just feels more real and raw, and it gave me like an ECW ending kind of feel. And I know that's totally GCW. So I wanted to kind of give him credit here that, it felt like an ECW kind of ending in the back parking lot.
Yeah, I have a lot of similar statements again. Nice to see Slade back. He does provide something different, and him and Tremont, we're definitely going to have a train wreck, and I loved it. It was awesome until the finish. I was bit hook, line, and sinker. I was like, what is going on here? And then kind of got smartened up here. Because at first I was like, is this leading into kind of what we could possibly see with Joey and Atticus in their future match with a no contest? But I agree with you. I like the action going into the street. I like the realism of kind of conflating the commission and kind of all the comments that were kind of made when this venue was, I think when the state was first announced, Joey was making a bunch of comments and everything. So I liked seeing all those little kind of Easter eggs back then, kind of put in our face now and rewarding the fans. But yeah, we'll kind of talk about earlier the no contest kind of stuff and Matt Traymont's kind of title run. I wonder where that's going. I know they just announced that matchup too in JCW. Well, the Mayhem at the Mecca with the same 4 that we were kind of reviewing of the Madness last time. I kind of fits into Tremont. Like it's obviously got to be some sort of story going on with this. Tremont getting all these no contests and not finishing matchups. So it's kind of going both ways. I am getting kind of tired of seeing it, but I am getting excited to hopefully get a payoff to it and see why they've been doing it for so long and get the payoff.
Clown and I are on the same wavelength. I wanted Rochester to open. Okay, so this is an old school thing, B. You and I talked about this. Cornette talked about this. This is like an old thing from like the 60s or 70s. 2 wrestlers fought to the outside. 1 week later on the next show, the wrestlers fought back into the arena and the fans went fucking nuts. Clown said, I wanted Rochester to open with Slade and Matt from fighting outside into the front door like they've been fighting since Maryland. Yes, and think about like the like in your head what you're thinking. They fucking fought 1,000 miles across, you know. That was really cool.
It reminds me of like the old that Gold Dust and Ultimate Warrior, the backstage brawl, I think it was the WrestleMania, like where they just wrestle all over the place. Like that, I just like, yeah, see, like you forget about it, and then boom, it comes back in your face. Like, holy shit, they're still fighting. What the hell? Yeah, it would have been kind of cool to see that. I actually had that same thought. It would be as this is happening. I wrote it would be kind of cool to see the next night starting off, or at some point in the next night, even if it's just like and like it kind of spills out just real fast and kind of goes back in. They kind of wrangle it up.
Yeah,
just kind of like get the fans to kind of talk about it. I'm right there with you.
Creativity, man. It's a beautiful thing and it's free.
All right, that's it for that match. Our next match is Ken Dixon versus O'Shea Edwards.
I'll keep this kind of light. This was more of a locals match. That's what the spotlight was here. This was Ken Dixon's debut match at GCW. Ken's 40 years old, 12 plus years in ring experience. He's known as Big Papa Joppa, trained at the ROH dojo by Axel Rotten and Ronnie Zuko also. He's a 10-time champion, with his longest reign being the PCW heavyweight champion for 636 days, mostly seen at MCW Pro Wrestling, Primal Conflict, Ring of Honor, Virginia Championship Wrestling, and many others. Now on to O'Shea Jackson. The Big Bad Kaiju is from Mount Vernon, New York, and has been wrestling for 9 years. We last saw O'Shea in a GCW ring on April Fool's Day 2022 at For the Culture. O'Shea was trained by Johnny Swinger and Rock and Roll Express's own Robert Gibson. He's a 9-time champion, currently holding 4 championships. His longest run being the OWA heavyweight champion for 736 days. He also has a second run worth mentioning. It went for 636 days. That was the NLP championship. My notes on this match, these guys were big. There was a cool camera shot where O'Shea was flipped out of the ring and onto the ground, and it looked like he was going to hit the camera person. Excellent shot. I don't know how many minutes in, but Dixon went outside and stayed there for over a minute. And around there, I felt like the match slowed. It was a local match. It was the showcase it was supposed to be. It probably could have been about 5 minutes shorter. Our winner in this one, Ken Dixon. What were your thoughts on this one, B?
I wrote a interesting matchup here following the last one because of just 2 big sluggers kind of going at it. And I could see this one kind of ended in a no contest as well. But at least this one had a finish, and it was a hard-hitting contest, and we did have a winner. I like seeing O'Shea Edwards. I agree with you. I thought like I was really into it. Like the first 6-7 minutes, it was just like a slugfest, and I was like enjoying it. But then it kind of did slow down. It kind of felt like it did go on a little bit longer. But I wrote at least we got a winner in this one, so I was happy for what this match was kind of there for, as in between what was just happening and now the main event. And that main event was for the GCW World Championship as Effy defends it against Ruckus.
We had Ruckus chants before the match started for the Maryland native. I love the respect for the Independent Hall of Famer that was shown. He's in his 19th match with us in the current era of GCW. 20th match if you count a match with Alex Shelley at the Jersey J Cup 2003. And I'll save you the click. Jay Lethal went over Homicide in the finals at 19 minutes. Effy's been blessed with his original Elton John music so many times that I think it's finally back for good. fans were booing Effy, and I know it's because some of those opponents have been amazing, but should he embrace the boos and maybe turn heel? What do you think, B? Do you think that maybe Effy should consider taking a break from the Hogan role and going heel? Oh, Hogan role is a bad way to put it, but
yeah, I wouldn't say that way.
Sorry
but
about that.
I could kind of see him like, hey, I got here, and like, hey, the people that helped me, I'm defended it against you guys. So I like kind of getting the cocky of maybe he's like thinks he found his footing and he doesn't need the help. I think I've said it when they first started kind of booing Effy. I forgot what match it was, but heel Effy wouldn't be a bad thing at the moment. I think he's been faced long enough, and we've kind of seen what we've seen as a face Effy, not as a champion, of course. But I think that was kind of a talking point that we kind of agreed on. A heel Effy would be nice to see in a different kind of side of him.
Yeah, good change. And I mean, if he really put his nose to the notepad, I wonder what kind of character he'd come up with there. Yeah. When
I
did
like that
Justice
idea.
get his title shot?
Justice had a fight against Mance Warner when Effy got to pick. So
look at this. We got two people on the same wavelength.
he doesn't have a title shot, but I mean, I guess he could say like, hey, I went to bat and I protected you, and you picked me to come back and wrestle against Mance. Like now, like what do I do for you?
He said Effy's a heel already, but yeah.
Yeah.
I guess we can look at it that way. So I was laughing at the fans with the chant over here, and then fans on the other side of the ring are saying, fuck that side, fuck that side. Creative. Haven't heard that one in a while too. Ruckus with an incredible round off sky twister press off the stage and onto Effy and others below. Great catch by everyone. Effy with a full moon and got booze. Fuck you, Effy. A wild fan base. I loved it. Ruckus came off the top turnbuckle and delivered a double stomp to Effy's chest, and it put Effy through a door bridge. Effy got a quick roll up that I felt was kind of weird, and I can't describe exactly how here, but Effy retained at 16.5 minutes. What did you think about this match?
I enjoyed it. I don't want to steal your next note there, but that's kind of what I wrote down is Effy's been wrestling all these kind of different matchups. I know at the beginning he defended that belt outside of GCW, but since he's been defending the belt in GCW, we've seen him in a variety of different stylistic matchups, and he is not developing, but showcasing different sides of his wrestling and character as champion in these kind of matchups. But I haven't seen, it's not that I haven't seen a heel Effy. I just don't think a lot of people have seen a heel Effy in GCW. And I think it would be fun to see at this point. And in the matchups, especially like this, he's going to be the heel going against someone like Ruckus getting the title opportunity. While we kind of already knew that Effy was going to pick up the victory, I was kind of happy to see Ruckus get the quote unquote title shot in his home kind of area. And I always want to see Ruckus come back as well. And Ruckus delivered a fun main event title match to end the show.
I put Effy was doing a good job being a defending champion. 17 title defenses up to this show, but I feel he needs a major opponent or storyline, basically a major reason for his run. I do somewhat wish we had Mance back in that role, but of course they really did run a course for a while. Maybe Matt Cardona. I don't know. I mean, I see Cardona needs a complete rehaul. We were kind of talking about, well, really our West Coast correspondent was talking about this for a while, but we've seen quite a few different, versions of Matt Cardona, but a lot of them feel very similar. So, I mean, for him to do something different, I don't know exactly what that would be right now.
I wouldn't mind seeing Cardona even try to be a face at this point and kind of like trying to earn the fans back and try to like just even try it out. Like, hey, if it fails, you tried it out for a week, and if it seems like it could be something, go with it. If it doesn't, use it as one of those fucking Cardona teases and haha, I got you, dumbasses. You thought I was going to come back, like be with you guys. Like, it's real easy with him. But I think I thought the Jimmy one would have been kind of cool too, of maybe him like, hey, sorry, let's build you back up and kind of do it. Cardona would be a fun one, but I just think it goes back to repetitiveness and what we've kind of already seen Cardona and Effy go at it for what seems like Cardona's entire time in GCW. I feel like those two, other than Cardona Gage, Cardona Effy are just eternal rivals in GCW. Cardona Joey is the same as well. I don't know. I think Cardona's been through all the faces. I like to see him interact with heels at this point.
Do we have a big enough heel?
Yeah.
No. Do we have a big enough heel that you feel Brett would get behind and push for that long?
Well,
And
it's just,
who would it be, you think?
I think there's plenty of heels right now that could do what Cardona's doing. That's why I'm thinking, like, hey, it's not like we're going to lose anything with Cardona not being a heel no more. We're just going to get something new, fresh, and who knows the possibilities with him being a face going against these heels. Mason is a good name. KJ Orso, we got now a good name. Let's off the top of my, those two are off the top of my head. Obviously being Atticus, like, let's see Cardona. Hey, went against Gage, let's go against the Prince. Like, let's try to, you want to earn it back. I don't know. I just think a face Cardona is what's needed now. I think he's been such a heel for so long. He's gone through it all. Why not try something new?
Yeah, great one. Cardona needs to turn face. I think he should legit feel more remorse for how he treated Jimmy. Wouldn't it be funny if he went into a role where he's like a born again Christian or something, like what's his name? Brother Love. Do you remember Brother Love had the red face? He was a minister from like the 80s WWF, and he would always come out and say snarky shit, but he'd be like, I love you, and people hated it. It would be hilarious for Cardona to be a heel character that he's heel because he pretends he's good and he's changed and he's different and he's this and that, but we find out he was bull. I don't know. I don't know. I'm stuck.
Cardona literally go back to those opening montages that he did when he first got Jimmy onto his side. You could replay that again, but now Cardona is a serious face. He's not making these comments. Maybe he stops saying it and Jimmy fucking like super kicks him, puts him in his place, and gives him a black eye, and the next day doesn't say it. Like, I think it could build up and earn the fans earn the fans grace by turning face, and also not become a Zack Ryder, but like, as kind of said, showing remorse of what he did to Jimmy. What could Jimmy do if Cardona actually tried to make him like a better wrestler, a better sports entertainer? I would even go back to building him back to be a better deathmatch wrestler, to go back for the ultra-violent title. I think that would be a cool story arc at this time. Born again indie
Emil, right there.
Sorry, born again indie work rate. Yeah. yeah, that would be kind of fun.
Man,
it's not going to be something different.
Let's see here. Also, let's see. Do not fret, citizen. Welcome, by the way. It's good to see you. I'd love to see Cardona turn face off the Koga brothers invasion later this year. He doesn't have to be the savior, but I think it's a good avenue that could make sense.
But see, here's the thing. You'd have to plan that so carefully where Atticus is going to get cheered no matter what actions he's going to do, where I think they got to be absolutely vicious to even have Cardona. Because even if Cardona tries fucking with Atticus, it can be turned on in an instant, and the fans aren't going to just cheer on Cardona. Cardona's going to have to do some major kind of come up and suffer through it and come up and through the fans' eyes to get that back again. Against someone, like I said, Atticus. I think Atticus might be not the right heel. I think Mason's a good heel, but even Mason's getting to that territory. KJ Orso right now is the most solid heel.
Whoa. Cardona saves Stackhouse.
Damn it. That's where I was going, Fred. I was about to say, you could go back to Cardona saving Stackhouse through the ultimate heel right now, that like there ain't no cheering no matter where he goes or what he says. It's KJ Orso. Like, he's the most authentic heel we have right now. Atticus is like that stone cold, cool to cheer, but also does dastardly things. Same with Mason. So I was going to kind of go back to that point, is they could go back to Stackhouse with Cardona and get that sympathy back as well. Like I said, I just think, like, look at all these possibilities, fun ideas to see Cardona work in a different role than what he's been doing. And we've been saying this for a long time, though, with Deathmatch Royalty. So, yeah, I don't know how we got that far into Cardona in this match, but I liked it because, like, it's just fun to think of the new possibilities. Just think of that storyline. Oh my God. You see Cardona coming out with the chair. You know he's going to hit Stackhouse, and boom, KJ, and he gives the handshake to Stack. Oh yeah, that would be sick.
Hey, I'd be cool with having KJ being brought in.
Yeah, we saw that.
To Deathmatch Elite. And then eventually, here's why. I want to see KJ turn. I want to see KJ turn on Cardona, because I feel like overall, I just think they'd have a good match.
I was there. Yeah.
I want to see their match.
Yeah, I was definitely there, because I was like, holy shit, what is this? I'd never seen Stack or heard of this guy before in my life, but the crowd was cheering him for sure that night. Cena's was 5
You know
years
what?
ago.
You know what? So this is funny. This kind of ties back to the whole thing where Cardona kind of goes back to being, what if he starts trying to right all of his wrongs? Everybody he's
That's what
fucked
I'm
over.
saying.
Yeah. I think that's a good way. His path to redemption. I love a good redemption story where it's a heel. He's
Like,
fake redemption.
Even in those videos, you saw like, hey, he was trying to get Jimmy, but Jimmy's like not fully trained and he's still eating whatever he's eating, lobster. I don't want to say lobster with him, but whatever they're eating, like, he wasn't on the diet. He was like cheating and like not fully giving his best to Cardona. Where now it's like, hey, Jimmy's doing it, and like Cardona is the one that's not giving his best. There's just a lot of fun stuff they could do, and I think Cardona, if he's looking for something fresh and wants to get in, you've tried for 3 years, 4 years as a heel. Why not now try as a face? What's stopping you at this point? Why not? That's my opinion.
Well, yeah, I think that's a good way to put. Well, he even now is in his final incarnation, Cardona's file. That's, I think, where he's at right now. Is he's like, okay, what's left? What's the next thing I can, go through?
He puts out one of those little sob stories of how he grew up being a wrestling fan. It's everything he's wanted. Like, kind of like that video that he did when they were like, he kind of posted returning back to Hammerstein, kind of like recalling all the cool moments in his career as a face was most of those things. You just kind of start building that face up and kind of like, hey, I do need the fans. And I think you could get there.
So, I'll just say right here, this is where we primarily hit the middle point of the show. So I'll just say again, if you get a chance, please like and subscribe if you hadn't already. Hit the bell if you want notified when we go live, and super chats are available if you want to donate to us for our hard work. So there we are there. Do you have a video or anything or parting words before we move on?
Yeah, I'll get the video ready for the next one. Also, I heard a cool thing. Super chats help out with the mute button. I don't know for the negative, for better or for worse. I just heard it helps out. No, I'm just kidding.
That mute button is like, it's in my nightmares, man.
We gotta call it. We're gonna call it the Stanley now. Hopefully Otis is still listening. All right. GCW's Run For It from Water Street Music Hall in Rochester, New York. We do have that video up as well. Let me get that video, and here we go. All right, that is GCW's Run For It. And real fast before we head on there, I will agree with you, Reed. That's what I'm saying. Like, if he's trying to get back in still, like, no matter what, why not? Like, if you could win the fans over, that says a lot to the company, where you created your whole indie as a one character, but you're able to switch it up. That's going to definitely prove your value to the company as well. Also, do what Clown says. Leave a comment after the video. Helps with the algorithm. I agree with what Clown says.
Please, guys, we really do try hard. We do our best. I mean, that's really heartfelt, just being real with you. Thank you so much for everything you do. Appreciate you.
All right, we're going to get into Run For It.
Ayatollah of rock and rolla. That's what I feel like right now. All right, I don't know where that came from. Let's just get rolling then. As B just said, we are back at the Water Street Music Hall. Emil is in the ring. That beautiful black GCW banner is hanging right over Emil's head on hard cam. There's a great black aesthetic that I feel fits GCW really well at that building. And I feel if it was bigger, it would be a perfect home for GCW. Rochester never disappoints, and this is GCW owner Brett Lauderdale's home territory. We already know we are going to be in for a great show. Emil and Rob Sanderson were on commentary, and was there anything else you wanted to say before we got into this first match?
No, I have my first notes right into this first match. As once again, it is Young, Dumb, and Price defending the belts against the High Seas.
All right. Alec and Oliver have different vibes coming out. I don't know if anyone noticed. Alec is hype and Jordan is more measured and calm. High Seas have good music. They're the team you're going to see if you go to a GCW show in Rochester. This is their 4th time straight. Both teams are having fun wearing the captain's hat in the beginning of the match. I felt it was promising that we're seeing some tag team offense now coming from Young, Dumb, and Price. That was, we just talked about that last week. That's what we felt like we were missing, was we needed to see more cohesiveness. This is part of that cohesiveness right there. We've watched several matches also, and I don't want to speak for both of us, but do you think that Jordan looks like he's back 100%? Because to me, he does.
Yeah, and because I was saying earlier, the striking, like not even 100%. It seems like he improved in ring somehow during the injury, and that's been awesome to see. And yeah, that was my first concern. Even that night, when he first came back was like, oh, it wasn't that long. So is he really ready or whatnot? But that LA match against oh my goodness, I forgot the tag team. Morgan Webster and Mark Andrews. They
damn it, what was
I
their
don't know
name?
why it's subculture. Jesus.
They were fucking good too.
Yeah, I know. That's why I was just getting mad at myself. Like, how did I forget this? He looked good that night, and that's kind of I was like, okay, I feel way more comfortable. Because I always get scared when wrestlers return from injuries. Pretty much, no matter what injury, just it's wrestling, it's physical, obviously, and the chance of re-injury of happening or not being fully percent and not being fully healed up and injuring themselves once again. I'll go right here, real fast, Crow. One-on-one match like against Randy Myers. That's when I fully felt comfortable because not like he could take a break and rest that knee. He had to go that entire time just one-on-one. So I agree with you. I want to see more one-on-one bouts to further prove it, but I think he's back 100%. 9 months. I think he actually was gone the full 9 months too. So I'm glad to see him back at 100%.
So our winner in this one was Young, Dumb, and Price. Emil then announces local announcer Chris will be announcing the next match. After his entrance, Holiday then grabs the mic and says Rochester is an F town. Said everyone reminds him of Pero. The crowd was like, what? Well, he keeps going on. So he starts digging in on Pero, calling him names. He calls the fans peasants and tells them to enjoy him throwing Megan around. Chris then announces him after his TED talk, and I think that actually worked really well for his heat. I'm kind of hoping it stays that way. I don't know what's going on lately. Maybe it's something B said or I said, I don't know, but he's been pushing himself lately and putting more of his personality into his work, and I feel like it's paying off.
We're getting a different type of heel heat than we were for when I was kind of complaining about it. It did feel kind of like a lot like go away heat. But yeah, yes. I think, as you said, I think he's imprinted his personality and the Richard Holiday into this character. And now I think we're getting more back to how he first debuted in GCW that we loved him at. He's starting to get, as he's posted out, he's getting in better shape. And I've been enjoying his heel work a lot more now than I was a couple ago, because as you said, that you were the one who could just now put it in my head, like he put personality, his character has put his stamp in it, and it's not just like kind of that like the generic cheap heat that he was getting. He's like making his own. I've been enjoying it. That promo still from Effy's Big Gay Brunch was like, I think for me, like, yeah, that's the Holiday I've been kind of missing on.
And it goes to prove that the more he puts of himself into his art, the better it is. No lie. This is coming from two people who were rough on him and his run. This is so much better quality.
Yeah, I agree. That will lead into that next match as Richard Holiday stays in the ring against Megan Bain.
All right. We have referee Scarlett Donovan. She's the official on the job here. Big Megas' chance. This is her 44th match at GCW already.
That's fast. Yeah.
Doesn't feel like it. Richard Holiday is a current two-time champion, the ACW heavyweight champion, 136 days, and the FL world champion, 331 days. I'll say it again. When Holiday gets creative and shows that side of himself, he's a lot more fun. As a heel, I like when he takes time to yell at the crowd mid-match. Fans hate that shit. It was all Megan for the first half of the match. Holiday could not get any offense in, and around 4 to 5 minutes, Holiday finally started to take over. Emma was talking about the state-mandated guardrail. It doesn't bother me too much. I know I'm lame, but I actually like the mats on the ground. I know it's, wrestler safety. Around minute 7, Megan hits a running Megasis bomb, and the tables turn back to Megan. She hits a Falcon Arrow. Holiday magically kicks out. Richard goes for a low blow, and of course, doesn't affect her. Megan answers with a suplex. Holiday crawls outside the ring and onto the stage, and out walks Pero. They are face to face. Holiday is begging on his knees. And the minute Pero kind of takes his eyes away from Holiday, Holiday goes for a low blow and completely fails. Pero has Holiday up on his shoulders and throws him back into the ring. Bane hits a leaping lariat and some form of a suplex and then covers for 3. Our winner here, with a little assistance from Pero, was Megan Bane. What did you think about this match?
I wrote like this felt like a very like TV SmackDown kind of matchup. Like they just put on a very good TV match in this one, like classic kind of traditional wrestling, not GCW style, but I think it kind of fits both of them perfectly. I think both of them are kind of more TV, more stylistic for or their styles are more ready for TV wrestling than kind of independent. Bane was throwing Holiday around, but Holiday did really good job of putting her over very well in this one. Yeah, I was happy to see Pero come back and attack Richard Holiday and then finally get some mic time. And Pero killed it on the mic. And I want to see, we've been asking for the Monster Pero. Monster Pero needs to be happening right now. And I go right here with great one. Holiday and Pero, it's going to make it easier for Holiday, as you said, to get not rely on that cheap heat. He has Pero to play off of. They have a very deep story. Very interesting to see if they're going to, how much they're going to bring Mason into this. I hope not, considering what Mason kind of has going on for him later on in the night. But I would like to just see this one be one for Pero to get back to that monster that he debuted in GCW as. But now, as once again, it's time to see him as a face, as a monster. Like it's wrestling, it's independent wrestling. The stories don't need to last years. The characters don't need to last 5 years. Like switch it up, as Cardona was switching up like almost yearly or every 6 months. He was the Completes. He was the Jurassic Park. He was Indie God. Like, why not?
He was a Ghostbuster.
He was a Ghostbuster. Like, why not? If you're not on TV as an independent wrestler, I would be trying stuff out, give it a time frame. If it doesn't work, switch it. And it doesn't need to be even like big changes, like Holiday. Just one little change to what he's been doing. It's working for him. And now Pero, I want to see Pero with everything, the Unchained. I want to see Monster Pero squash Holiday 2 minutes and move on and go forward from there and see what happens. And Pero getting mic time, I thought that was cool. What do you think of Pero talking? I think that's really kind of the first time we've heard Pero on a mic, other than just saying like a couple words of, hey, shut up, Holiday or Mason. Like he's just finally got some mic time. I was happy to see that. What about you?
I loved it. No kidding. I loved it. I loved how he kind of rolled with the punches. The fans were yelling shit and he was kind of just going with it. I'll actually talk about that right now. Okay, because for me, this was a little bit of a coming out for Pero when it comes to the fans seeing that he doesn't have to be robotic. He could be more than that. And oh yeah, he has a sense of humor and can kind of roll with the punches with you. So he's showing that intelligence now also. So that being quick-witted and intelligent, you know, he's adding all that on top that the fans, I don't think really saw much before. It was more this bad, this good, I am monster, you know, kind of straightforward. You know, he was just an arrow. That's all he was. And now it seems like he has more to him. That's kind of how I feel. Okay. So, go ahead. I don't want to start this without.
Yeah, I was about to say just real fast. I wanted to say I'm happy to see him not like it's showing everyone he doesn't need a Mason. He doesn't need a Holiday. He could be solo and act by himself and show what he is as a character without other people. I agree with you there. It's gonna be fun to watch him actually grow authentically and not be kind of not bombarded, but like kind of changed by what is going on of his extenuating circumstances.
Yeah. Okay, so I'll just get this off of here because the fans seem to the listeners really need to get this off their chest. Guardrails suck. Emil says guardrails and barricades are for cowards and wimps. Wrestlers' safety is a fucking myth. Wrestlers get more hurt on those guardrails than the fans. Actually, yeah, we've talked to a couple of wrestlers that have blown a femur on those fucking things. The most painful thing that happened to me as a fan is having the guardrail get slammed into my knee. That shit hurts. And then Crow was just asking, oh, great one, our West Coast correspondent, you ever suffer the old school ROH guardrails or barricade? Yeah, I heard those were a bitch.
Dude, I got cut on my leg by them. Those things are sharp. Now, those things were dangerous, man. Those Ring of Honor things were no joke.
Okay, so I'll get back to the show here. After this match, Pero watches on from the stage. He grabs a mic and he starts heading to the ring. Now, in a huge face move, Pero lifts the ring ropes for Megan. Also, I think I love that touch. Pero has a mic. Then he stands over Holiday and says he's going to keep it short and sweet because he wasn't allowed to talk. He knows he's been an asshole to everyone, and it's because of Holiday, and he points down at him. Someone yells, "Fuck him up, Pero." Pero looked up and he said, "I'm getting to that part." Again, nice job rolling with the punches. He then says, July 5th in Holiday's hometown. He's going to kick his ass. Fans chant, "Pero's going to kill you." Good job by Pero on the mic. This was a good progression of storyline. He flipped that. I mean, flip and face. It's time. Plus, thinking about it, Holiday has done wonders on getting heels over as faces. He did it with Mason without trying. I honestly feel like this might be a superpower. Fans could use a face monster right now. Is Pero that guy? I say, yeah. At this point, I'd have to say that really this is the time. I don't know. You can't, I'm a monster guy.
I just said I didn't know you had that in your notes. I didn't see that till the end. That's what I like, probably just took what you were going to say out.
No.
I agree. Yeah, I agree with you. I just said we need a monster face, and Pero is that person right now. Crow, but those things are very dangerous, man.
Yeah.
We're talking about safety here. Gotta be safe.
Reed is crushing already. To read it, yeah. It took him 2 hours before he said something. So yeah, he's getting rowdy. It's getting late over there.
Yeah,
Pero
I'm
would
happy
be a
for
fun
this.
monster face.
I was very happy to see this. My first reaction was, as you just said, like how I wonder how you feel, because I know we were calling. You love the Haas's, and we were yes. Calling for Pero. Would be kind of not calling for Pero, but when he showed up, we were happy because we thought he should have been there a long time ago. And now that he's here and finally seems now going to get a proper push as a solo act, I'm excited.
He's got a good head on his shoulders. I'm really looking forward to seeing what Pero can bring to it. And on the microphone, man, if you're as golden as that every time, he's set. He's set. All he has to do is go in that ring and perform. He'll be great.
And he's doing what we're asking for Cardona. He's out here saying, "Hey fans, I fucked up. I know. Let me give me a chance. Let me show you guys. I'm gonna earn it back and show you why you didn't get the real Pero. You got someone that was improperly influenced over the last couple of years."
Dude, I didn't even think about that way until you said it.
Like if he's Cardona, we were just saying everything Cardona should do, and Pero just did it in one promo. So I once again happy to see Pero take the reins, and I'm happy. Want to see where this character goes.
This match was the shortest match of the night at 8 minutes and 23 seconds. That's kind of rare. That was actually 2 minutes and 11 seconds shorter than the next shortest match. But when you add the drama at the end, they had a solid 10-minute segment, and I think they did a good job packing a lot into that time. Great job by everyone. I think everyone progressed here. And again, I'll take another Megan Bayne before she's gone.
Yep. Our next matchup, as Reed was saying, was Billy Starks versus Miyu Yamashita.
Welcome back, Billy. Last seen in a GCW ring exactly 10 months ago from that date on July 18th, 2024 at GCW's Believe Me against Rachel Armstrong in Louisville, Kentucky. I had fun watching Billy Starks in this match, as I've seen very little of her outside of GCW. I rarely come out of the independent bubble. I basically watch like GCW, NHB, and a lot of randoms when they come on. Starks does a better job of showing an emotion, and cameras did a great job of capturing that. I say that because with Billy Starks, she was always like smiling, like, hey, I'm just happy to be here, he. And as she's grown and matured a little, that's kind of dropped off, and it really did need to happen that way. So great job there. Miyu's personality comes off a touch bland to me, but she's done more in ring to show everyone who she is, and she's growing on me. I've never seen Miyu's Stardom run, but I'm sure it was quality. I know we just recently saw Masha and Miyu, but I feel they have more to give if they had a 3-match series in them. Billy used to be more disconnected between some of her moves, and I see those transitions are more fluid. Billy and Miyu are 10 years apart, but Miyu's maturity is so far above her age that I get this perception the age gap is actually bigger. Our ending here, Billy turned a Miyu victory roll into a bridge and got a surprise 3. Our winner, Billy Starks. This was an interesting one. What did you think, man?
I closed my notes here. My bad. This one was intense. I agree with you. Billy seemed to be more like, instead of the playful, like took this seriously. And I think that added to the intensity of this match. It felt like these two had something to prove as being like aces of their respective promotions kind of going against each other on neutral ground was fun to see. That's why I love GCW. That's kind of why, if we want to get technical with the Atticus promo, Miyu is kind of one of these people that are coming on and taking some spots from other wrestlers. But this is why I enjoy these kind of matchups when people come back and kind of show back up in GCW. Both were awesome. This one I could watch over and over again. The strikes were strong, the throws were powerful, and I wrote the same thing as you did at the beginning. Welcome back, Billy Starks. Yeah, yep. I'm the same way. This one, sorry, I didn't mean to cut that one off. I didn't know you had something up there. This is kind of like the ultimate thing. This match went crazy on a random Sunday night for no reason at all, other than just respect and to put on, like, to show the world what these two are made of. And you said have a series. I'm all for that. I would love to see a series.
It's just Miyu again. She wrestles like she's 40, and she's only been wrestling for 10 years. I don't know how it works, but she wrestles like she's been at it 20, 25 years. Amazing performer. Miyu was on offense 60% of the match, and Billy still pulled it out. In a fun final spot, Billy stood on the stage after the match, mocked Miyu, and Miyu ran after her and chased her to the back. You could see the fans smiling and laughing. So I thought it was a great ending, and Miyu loves GCW. I feel that GCW fans are slowly warming up to her in kind. And I think not this one, but the more quality matches that she's putting on with others like Masha, I think show that on the card, she's a great addition.
Our next matchup is a hardcore match, as it is Jonathan Gresham versus Jimmy Lloyd.
Okay, B, you and I are going to talk real quick. In the last 6 weeks, you've seen Gresham versus Marcus Mathers on April 6th, Zack Sabre Jr. live in LA on April 17th, Masha Slamovich for the JCW Championship on March 3rd, Charles Mason on May 11th, one called Manders on May 17th, and a hardcore match with Jimmy Lloyd on this show. How are you feeling as a Jonathan Gresham fan for the last month and a half?
Blessed and thankful. What I'm actually really thankful for is we're not seeing just Gresham against, like, don't get me wrong, I'll see Zack Sabre versus Gresham any day of the week, but we're seeing Gresham kind of have to get out of his shell and kind of this match is one that he wrote on his list that he wanted to have against Jimmy Lloyd, and I think he wanted to have a different style matchup than what fans are used to seeing him of, and I think a lot of that list was how about I say half of them are totally different stylistically for him. So I am happy, thankful, and anytime I can see Gresham perform in the ring, like I said, his in-ring psychology for me is what wins me over every time. Of how even Manders, you think he's going to attack the arm, so Manders is probably like just in sports, like you're going to try to protect that arm, make sure Gresham can't get in. Gresham knows that, so he's thinking one step ahead of you, wearing out your leg. You got to bend down and grab your leg with that arm. It frees up your arm. Now he can attack the arm. Like Gresham, what he does in the ring that's my style of wrestling that I love, and I'm happy to see him. And yeah, I want to see him longer and longer. Like there's a lot more matchups I have in store. I would love to see him kind of still wrestle in GCW.
Okay, so I'm going to read this one paragraph that I wrote in my notes that I want you to kind of have a giggle with me. I wrote this before the match. Smart fans know Jimmy Lloyd is no slouch in ring and has a good mind for wrestling. I'm expecting something good from this match. My next note says, and a chair comes out minute 2. Minute 3, though, Gresham had Jimmy wrapped up in knots. At another point in the match, Jimmy's bootlace is coming undone. And again, that's where I think we were talking a little bit about that match type earlier. Minute 6, and the chair gets crushed under Gresham's weight. Jimmy found a door, and it gets propped in the corner of the ring. Late in the match, Gresham slaps in the octopus while Jimmy is losing his pants. Gresham eventually goes through that door in the corner. Most of it was still unbroken, so the fans are chanting, "More door, more door." Jimmy makes the door bridge. He ends up being laid out across it, and Gresham goes the top turnbuckle, hits a shooting star press, and covers for 3. Our winner in this one was Jonathan Gresham. I wrote here that this match was a perfect mix of half Jimmy and half Jonathan. A great match together. Jimmy got extra love from the fans in the ending. Here we go, B. I think I just took one of your star notes, huh?
You took all my notes. Ditto.
Oh, shit.
There we go.
Sorry, man.
No, it's funny. I wrote this match was a delightful blend of Gresham style match that gradually transitioned into a Jimmy style matchup, and Gresham kind of showed that he struggled to keep up. Jimmy struggled to keep up with Gresham on the ground, so he had to kind of bring out the weapons to kind of even the playing field. And I thought this was an entertaining match to watch Gresham kind of get extreme with his moveset, and I liked it. It was very, very well done. Our next matchup is for the JCW Championship, as it is Masha Slamovich versus Atticus Kogar.
All right, I wrote here, good entrance from Vandal 48. They have a couple poses they hit. Those look good. I appreciate the time they took to put that together. Masha then comes out. Unfortunately, her only two friends with her are her two championship belts. After some interference, the referee finally throws Otis and Christian out from ringside. We now have a true one-on-one matchup. This is actually more of the matchup I wanted to see, especially since Atticus lately has been trying to show and prove the wrestling side of him instead of the more deathmatch side. So I was really looking forward to a true one-on-one here. Masha was recovering on the floor and Atticus was talking shit with the fans. Another thing I like, if there's a way to find out what he's saying, or if he knows that something he's saying is going to be good, I hope we can catch that. That's just another side of the character that I hope we can hear sometime. About 6 minutes in, the referee gets pushed into a bunch of skewers that are stuck in a turnbuckle, and he goes down. Napier then comes out, takes the shirt off of the ref, kind of goes in front of the camera like, yeah, here's the shirt. Janela comes out, puts Napier on his shoulders when Otis comes from behind and then knocks Janela down. Atticus has a chain, wraps it around his fist, and of course accidentally hits Otis. Janela drops Atticus. It's now between Joey and Napier. Joey grabs Napier as he goes to sneak off. Joey pile drives him on his head. Atticus then comes back up and he has skewers. Masha hits Atticus with the white knight driver and covers. Joey puts on the referee shirt and counts for 3. And that was the challenge. Our winner here, and still the JCW champion, Masha Slamovich. B, what are you thinking here, bud?
This was another matchup where I realistically thought that Masha might have a chance to lose the belt, and that's all I've been asking for in all her title defenses over these last 2 years. So this one I was excited, especially after that video that Atticus put out earlier in the day before this match. That really got me thinking that this might be the one now. Masha loses. And I wrote that Atticus makes me and it makes me like, that's why I was kind of mentioned earlier, that promo made me also think that Otis and Christian go for the tag belts. Joey with the help and then challenge as we'll get there, I think was a great way to kind of save Atticus's momentum for the big match coming up at Cage of Survival. But this kind of goes in what we're talking about, like these matchups. And I see that MLJ brought it up. I don't know if because of what we were talking about, but these no false finishes and no actual winners of no contests and stuff. I think this was a creative way of not really having a quote unquote official winner, because the official referee didn't count the 3, but it shows that Atticus is strong and kind of played into what was going on before. Atticus proven even more. And I really like how this is going to lead into the upcoming matchup.
And I just wanted to mention that promo video that we talked about early in the show. That what was shown right before this specific match to kind of, feed into the match itself there. I want more between Joey and Atticus, and we got it. We now have Joey versus Atticus in a dog collar match at Cage of Survival. My only complaint there, I do wish there was more time for setup, because the dog collar match is a very important match that's very rarely done, and it should, you know what I mean? Like, you got to put out the nice silverware for a good steak. So I know that they started this in Vegas and it's been a little while, but I would have liked to have seen more just for drama purposes. But again, this is me being picky. I like to challenge Atticus, especially because I know he's creative enough to understand what we're kind of saying here.
Well, I think this started way before Vegas. This started pretty much.
I mean, this is a deep thing. But I mean, for the fans who haven't been around for the last 3 years, they're maybe not gonna know how deep this runs. I really wish I would have done more like history on that to catch up fans. That's my bad on that one. What you seeing here?
Wow, what is this? I hope Atticus turned on one of you guys at some point in the story, and some of it plays. I think we've seen enough of Atticus. Stanley was enough. I'm cool. I got KJ. I got Mason now back in the picture. Atticus, Elris is already in here. Atticus with the Stanley. I'm good. I'm good.
We're now part of the GCW offering. Anything can happen. No shit.
I kind of agree.
Could you
with
imagine that? Oh my goodness. Stackhouse is such a brick. Could you imagine what KJ would have to do to like, dude, that's right. There's the dog collar match.
You can't get away from Stackhouse. Ain't no running now. Like he's got you. Yeah, I would. I like agree. That's a good one.
I like it. Unfortunately, that dog collar works in that match too. I kind of feel bad now because I'm like, that's their stip, but man,
I'll agree with you here with what you're about to say. I don't know if you said it or not. Actually, I think I cut you off. But I don't want to.
What you thinking?
Well, what you're about to that paragraph you have up there, I agree with what you're saying there.
Okay.
I didn't like that part either, kind of as well. This kind of what it kind of did to the other people, and kind of what it did to the brand new group that was just formed. But we'll get there.
Okay, so I'll go ahead and take that out. I wrote down here, I don't necessarily like that an injured Joey came out and outsmarted all 3 Vandal members, then mostly beat them up. It makes them look weaker, like they can't handle themselves even when they outnumber their opponents. I like my new teams to come out strong, whether they're heels or faces. If they can't fight, their words mean shit and they're not a threat. Now on Napier, I would have had him hit some introductory move off the top rope or maybe one of his stronger moves to introduce himself to the fans and show everybody that he's special, or at least a threat, not just possibly a number 3. Being younger, he's going to automatically look like he is, less of a threat. So they're going to have to come out strong with something on him. Otis and Atticus aren't necessarily top rope people. So this would be amazing if Napier would have come off with something top rope like that would have almost shown that he kind of completes the group. He has strengths where the others have weaknesses. So I'd like to see that dynamic and how that might play out. Right now, we do know he's deceptive and cunning, but can he defend himself and fight? I mean, he was trying to run away from Joey. So like I said, I don't like that booking up front. I like Joey. Strong.
Joey after that brutal finisher the night before. Like kind of just threw that whole brutal finisher too out the window too, and his past injuries. I'm agree. For me, wrestling it kind of annoyed me a little bit as well.
But I just felt like that would have been a great place for Napier to make a big splash on his first true night at GCW. I also think that booking did little to boost Vandal's credibility as a real physical threat at this time. Again, I'm just bitching here about this, but again, I want everyone to come out strong. I like the Royal Rumble where for the first 10 seconds of your entrance, you're just unbeatable. I really think that every group or individual that comes in should get their 10 seconds where it shows, hey, we're credible, we're a threat, you need to take it serious. Take us serious, sorry. But towards the end, Vandal are on the stage. All of them are wounded here. I look forward to them having, I can't say it over, but I want to see them win stronger booking. I see incredible potential on all fronts here. So all I'm saying is just give them enough in ring, and I think that the rest they can do on their own via promos. I don't see any. I see something wonderful here if they're given the wings to fly with it.
I agree. I guess we'll get to that. No, I ain't gonna get to that.
What you thinking? He said Sam. Oh, we have KJ.
We just brought up one person. Now we got another. KJ, I have to highly disagree. Now we've heard from your side of the story, which we'll get to. I can't wait to hear Sam's side of the story here, or see Sam's side of the story. I don't need to hear anything.
I want to be fair. I did reach out to Sam to come on and talk about this, and he is not at the point where he wants to talk publicly about this. I don't know if he's stewing in a positive way or a negative way, but we offered for him to come on and have his 5-10 minutes to talk about it, and he is saving it for the match. That's about what it sounds like from what I'm taking away from his words.
I can't wait to hear what he has to say. Yeah, I agree with you. I think Sam said something completely different today on social media. So
Yeah,
I know.
he's basically what we got is what we got. He said that, he is not gonna Emily. Yeah. What's up, Rob? So
Yes.
yeah, it's a wild situation. I'm looking forward to seeing how it all shakes out between those two.
We'll
Okay,
get there.
anyway,
We'll
I
get
got
here.
sidetracked.
We got one more match and then we'll get there. Our next match is a tag team match, as it is to Infinity and Beyond against Bang and Matthews.
Both members of To Infinity and Beyond have each wrestled for 21 years individually, roughly when the members of Bang and Matthews were, I would say, pre-kindergarten. But the age difference didn't seem to matter here, as To Infinity and Beyond kept pace with the young Bang and Matthews the whole time. To me, both of these teams are still largely working regional. To Infinity and Beyond work mostly New York and Ohio. Bang and Matthews cast a little bit of a wider net, mostly the Midwest and some small stints on the East Coast. A very solid, fast-paced match. Bang and Matthews have grown a lot since I've first seen them a few years ago, and I'm really happy to see them continue to grow. Our winner in this one, a 13.5-minute match, To Infinity and Beyond. And what were your thoughts on this one?
Yeah, I like seeing Bang and Matthews keep on getting the momentum and get these high profile matchups. And unfortunately, as Veda said the night before, they just keep on losing it. And this one was a very well. I liked this one because Infinity and Beyond are always good. I wish we could see them a little bit more outside of New York, but they provide something too as a tag team in GCW that I definitely want to see back to back. We should never have I agree with you there. We should. But I would like to see them kind of go outside of New York with them. I think they could do some fun stuff against some tag teams outside that area as well.
They have a ton of potential. We'll see what happens with them. Should we move into the next spot then?
I guess since he's in here,
Okie dokie.
I will stay muted and not say anything.
Yeah, you're on a watch list. That's what I'm starting to realize about you is you've received some threats.
I'm gonna mute my screen so I don't see any facial reactions either. I don't want that to come into play here too.
All right. So we have a replay of what happened between Sam and KJ Orso, and then we go back to the ring. Emil announces KJ. KJ then comes out and he explains he's a genius surrounded by idiots. He softened his voice and wore a mask for fans. He acknowledges that everyone's disappointed in him. He sees the man that he started KBW with, and that man says he's disappointed in KJ. I sincerely apologize. I did not get the gentleman's name. KJ says he's disappointed in Sam because he doesn't keep promises and basically costs KJ his mask, his career, his persona. My critique, he's in the opening era of something great here. The outfit looks great. I feel he's great on the mic. He speaks clearly, has a vocabulary, excellent storyteller. He said Sam was an anchor keeping him back. And in LA, he tried to break Sam's neck. He will win the GCW World Championship in time. We will witness the era of Orso. Very interesting stuff right there. Fans are booing him terribly. He goes over and pulls his childhood best friend over the rails into the ring and chokes him out in the ring. Security had to pull him off of him. There's a big guy in security that has a stare down with KJ. Fans love the guy. They fight, but he gets taken out also. Again, sincere apologies. I don't know the name of that gentleman either. Whoever he was, again, was way over with the fans. I'm guessing he might have been a local wrestler. If someone could help me on that one, I would appreciate it. But yeah, all that had went down, and we finally get a little bit more of a understanding of what's going on between KJ and Sam. What do you think about this?
I still think there's a lot of question marks to this story. I think Sam has a lot of holes to fill in KJ's story here. I think KJ has a lot of maybe blurred and recency kind of bias on how he recalls of what has been happening as of late with Sam Stackhouse, and Stackhouse kind of being there to help KJ out. But I was happy to hear KJ give his side of the story. His look's phenomenal. His him getting that, his promo time's been very fun to watch as well. And I do want to see more of it. And the age of KJ Orso is in full effect here. And I want to see, and I want to hear Stackhouse's rebuttal, but like I said earlier, I kind of don't want to hear Stackhouse. As Stackhouse said, anything moving forward will be on his hands and his doing. And I want to see what Stackhouse has in store for KJ as payback.
I really
agree,
like it. I want to say this real quick too. Yeah, I want to say this too. Being front row in LA when KJ turned, the place, like, people weren't ready for it. And I almost want to applaud how blindsided even the smart fans were. I thought it was great. So wanted to put that out there too. I thought it was damn good and very well done.
When
don't kill me.
I'm about to say,
don't kill me.
I'm about to say I didn't type this.
Oh shit.
I'm glad it's someone
I was
else
doing
this time.
so good. Hey man, I'm a very laid back guy. I don't.
When do you think we're gonna see or hear from Stackhouse regarding KJ? Do we think something happens as kind of what we were talking about, COS?
Oh, that's something I'd like to hear. I'd love to hear that we have, a definite date, but I don't know. I'm kind of stuck on what to say here because I feel like I've said most of it, but just it's all been executed so well. And I really am engrossed in what's going on here. I don't know exactly where it's going to land. And I think that's what I like. For people like us, wrestling is too predictable. Right now, I like the unpredictability, and that's what I'm looking forward to here. And we have that in two handfuls.
Now, KJ getting the title defense or title shot at COS, I kind of brought up earlier. Do you think KJ is possibly be behind or working with, or maybe he got a bounty opportunity for Masha before Matt Makeout does? Any thoughts on KJ and Foxcatcher?
Here's what's going on. Okay, we used to see Happy Fuego, so to speak. And then I feel like KJ came out and out came all these capabilities that I feel we've not seen before. So I feel like until we've seen him hit the ceiling, the sky here is the limit and anything's possible until we've been shown otherwise. I think that what KJ has here is a very deadly set of skills. But he has a skill set here that I think could take him to many different places. And I don't know to kayfabe or what here, but I'm really impressed and I want to see where all this goes. No lie. Without me trying to, make something funky out of it. And no lie. I blew my mind. I didn't see the turn coming. Good stuff.
Well, like I just said too, though, I want to see Masha have believable matchups and someone that could realistically take the title off her. And right now, this new violent side of KJ, he already won one belt last week in a different company. And yeah, maybe KJ, the era of Orso is on us in JCW. And I think that's going to be another strong, difficult matchup for Masha, with or without Foxcatcher lurking in the background.
Dude, there's so many ways that all this could be taken. You know what I mean? Like, here's one way. KJ pulls Sam into his next, what's a good word for it? Where he now becomes the next thing. Oh, come on. What Pokemon do? when they go to their next evolve?
Oh, evolve.
Yeah. What would happen if KJ goes, man, he pushes Sam until he truly evolves himself? Thank you so much, Greywing. So yeah.
I mean, he might have just unintentionally evolved the next version of Sam Stackhouse. We were calling for the Monster Pero, and I think Holidays and Mason kind of dragged that out of him. I think KJ definitely stumped the anger and the Monster Stackhouse out of him. Yeah, I'm interested to see what happens. I'm excited because, as you said, we've been wanting unpredictability, and KJ just zooming right up and getting a chance at the JCW title with all the momentum that he has going into this match. I could easily see a new champion I don't know. We'll see. We will see. I'm very interested to see how KJ does once again as a solo competitor without the help of Sam Stackhouse this time.
KJ's on a roll in here. Man. I have an idea I have an idea that I want to talk to you about another day. Now that Fuego's gone, it's not the best idea, but I had a great idea for when that fuck it. We'll just talk about it because it's late and why not? I thought it would have been funny to have Microman, the artist formerly known as Fuego, and Stackhouse. And what would have happened was Stackhouse, Fuego would have been under the ring. Microman fights. At some point, Microman falls and goes under the ring. Out comes Fuego. Fuego now is fighting. It's almost like it went under the ring and evolved. Fuego fights, then under the ring, Fuego would have went. Out comes Sam's. It's like every time they go under, another evolution, a bigger monster comes out. I don't know. Like I said, between that and the shoelace thing, I might have went. I don't know. Maybe I need to start drinking.
Or stop.
But anyway, or stop. Yeah, maybe. But yeah, there's a lot of potential here. I'm sorry. I got off center for a second, but I don't think I've ever seen a progression where a wrestler like Tom and Jerry, where it was the mouse and then they painted the elephant and the bigger elephant. Yeah. Well, yeah.
My last statement on this, I would not want to be KJ whenever Sam does return. That's the last thing I want to kind of say that. Yeah, great one. All right.
Yes, Sam was masked. Honestly, the first thing I wanted to do, I wanted to see all three in the same. So it looked like he actually, the wrestler who came out, got bigger over time. Yeah.
All right. Our next matchup is for the GCW World Championship, as it is Effy versus the one called Manders.
Effy received much more love in Rochester than he did the previous night in Joppa. I feel like a GCW championship title shot is appropriate for someone of Manders' stature at this time. There was a big hug between both men. They are friends first and foremost. Somebody like me loves things like that. Fans were really coming alive and yelling things during the match. Both Manders and Effy were acknowledging it at times and saying something back. Then the fans would start laughing. I really wish I knew what they were saying. Effy's always been great with the fans at ringside. They put on a very good wrestling match here. Lots of time for each man to have his own time in the sun. Manders hitting a surprise sack rider. Both went down and the fans cheered for both men. Our ending here, Manders goes for his big lariat. Effy sidesteps it and wraps up Manders in a quick roll up for 3. Effy then retains again our winner here for the GCW championship, Effy. What are you thinking, man?
Fun matchup, as you said. I did like how it kind of started off friendly. I wish I would have saw a little different Manders getting the opportunity to go for the GCW world title. I wish they kind of would have thrown the friendship away a little bit more going into this match, but I think it kind of devolved into that. We were talking about evolution. I think it de-evolved into a not so friendly affair as the match went on, but Manders kind of pulling out the sack rider, kind of knowing how well he knows Effy and his moveset, and Effy kind of trying the lariat out and being smart enough to expect the lariat and to sideswipe it and pick up that roll up. I don't mind that finish. It just kind of, that's the psychology there that I liked seeing in this wrestling match. And it was a kind of quick sudden win, but Effy needed to not play around with Manders, and I enjoyed this match. I agree with you. Manders been on the roll that he's been on, as I was saying previously. Him getting this title match just made sense, and I think once again this should have been one of the earlier title defenses that Effy should have put up against all the people that he kind of recruited or had on his side against Mance Warner. Manders getting this opportunity was fun, and I can't wait to see Manders in the title scene moving forward.
So then Effy grabs the mic and says the GCW championship will be a fighting championship. This is similar to what Atticus was saying, that if he won the championship, the JCW championship, he was going to do this. Effy said he will fight anyone who's determined to take his spot. Effy opens the belt to other companies, saying it could be defended everywhere. Thank you. I love that idea. Then KJ Orso's music plays and he comes out. He's talking shit to Effy and Effy is talking back. From behind, comes Charles Mason. He beats Effy with a chair. Mason grabs the title and he holds it high over his head. Is Mason going for the belt? Is a question there. I'm guessing that's pretty obvious. He put some posts on Twitter later that showed that he is very much going for the belt. Now, is Mason working with KJ, or is Mason just being an opportunist and that was the best time to strike?
That's the ultimate question I have. After seeing this and kind of where KJ is kind of moving on his character arc here, it seems KJ is pulling stuff from Mason when he had his interactions with Mason and using kind of Mason's mentality and thoughts and going into the wrestling match. And now with Atticus, he pulled out kind of, instead of the silver to Satan, he's the silver tongue savant. And I like KJ kind of pulling from Mason, pulling from Atticus, but is he working with Atticus? Is he working with Mason? Everything what KJ says a lot of things apparently that aren't true or are true that haven't played out yet in his eyes, but I could see something there that could connect the two. You also tweeted Sam was your best friend, and we kind of see where that turned out to. So I am taking your words with a grain of salt as of right now.
You be nice. He's getting gutsy.
I said it nicely. I respectfully said it nicely. I didn't say any wrong names. I kind of agree right now. I don't think KJ needs Mason, but that's what I'm saying. I wonder if during his interactions in GCW on his current run and kind of what has kind of he went through with Mason is a big deal. What he went through with Atticus and how that's kind of molded him and turned him into this new KJ Orso that he wants to portray. I wonder how much Mason maybe subconsciously is helping KJ here on Mason's own way up to the belt, but also possibly KJ's career again as well.
Between looking at Mason and KJ right now, I could see where they could naturally work together at some point because, again, they're both well-dressed, they're both well-spoken, they both have creative minds, and right now they both have that negative kind of, side to them. So, I don't know about that one. That's going to be really interesting. But, in the end of this one, though, Adam Galt and others actually had to come out and help Effy to the back. This wasn't easy on Effy, but KJ here had to prove a point, and so did Mason. And Effy was just he was the cream in that Oreo on that one, and he just got sandwiched. Well, I didn't expect to say that like that, but it. Nasty Leroy says, I don't believe KJ. Nice to see you tonight, Nasty Leroy.
Welcome, Nasty.
KJ stands on his own.
I don't think that's going to be a problem moving forward, but I'm happy to see Mason back. We've been saying Mason not being part of Collective was kind of surprising and disappointing us. Surprisingly, I'm still a Mason fan. I do like what he does when it's not to me and to other people, but I'm happy to see Mason back and in a prominent role and against Effy. This is they have some interesting past and history that they could go into. I didn't know at first where Mason's tweets were going. I'll be honest. Great one. You kind of helped me out there. I thought he was talking about the dead animals as he was talking about on our show when he was first killing animals. Sorry, not people, allegedly. I thought cold leather, the cold beats, the stillness. I don't know. I felt it was the animals, but I guess I'm blind and I should have seen that it was for the title. And Mason going after the title with Effy is now proving to be, I think will prove to be one of Effy's toughest challenges moving forward. And as something we were saying early in the show, we got what we've been wanting for Effy, and that's a story to further his championship reign along currently. And we got it now. And as you said, it might be just Mason, but KJ being involved there, what is going to happen there with Effy? Is Effy going to start recruiting some friends? You said the talent's there, but there's also I'm not saying anything. As John perfectly said it earlier, we think we're smart fans and we know kind of what's going on and kind of have a feel of with everything we've watched in wrestling. Neither one of us had any thought or once Fuego retired and left his mask and boots in the ring. I didn't think we'd see KJ Fuego at all, and especially to turn his back on Stackhouse was a shock to me. And yeah, it could be, like I said, between Atticus, KJ, Mason, what GCW's kind of got going on with story-wise, whenever they decide to do it, it's been one of the most interesting stories in independent wrestling, and it's been very fun to see.
Wow. I'll just say wow. There's so much here that you just said. We got here.
No, Benassi's calling everybody.
He's leaving out we got threats we've had threats thrown out from at least 2 people tonight. I think.
No, hopefully not to me.
No. I was included now. I have never been threatened. KJ was my first.
I as of right now, Ishmael, I kind of agree, but what is classy? Oh shit. What is classy about attacking your former best friend from behind unexpectedly? I see a maniac attack Effy. I wait for my time to strike. I turn to I like to see it. I like to see you pick your battles there, KJ. As we kind of see in the past, Mason's kind of going on that way, and we don't want to. Maybe we do want to go down that road again. I don't know. Crow, I'd have nightmares about that, especially after tonight. It seems like I got I got Otis in here. Hopefully he didn't say nothing mean to Atticus for us or Christian, but I think
we're good so far.
Yeah.
Emil hasn't said anything bad about us. We've been good so far with Emil. Sanderson was cool as hell. We love Sanderson too, so he was cool. Yeah,
but how fun is it to talk about the GCW World Title for this long again? Because this is something we've been missing for a while.
Yeah, storylines matter. We're gonna talk about that in a summary here shortly after this main event. But yeah, storylines matter, and they give us all so much more to talk about.
I got rid of 1 and 3 showed up. I don't need any more, man. We don't need Blake to come back, please. I'm just kidding. Like, we want Blake to come back, but he doesn't need to come back and attack me like how seems like other people are going after. I want to be on Blake's good side here.
You are on a lot of people's short list. It's interesting.
I didn't even say nothing yet tonight. I've been very respectful. Now, last week, maybe
right
with
there.
Fuego, I would like to see Foxcatcher is also what's interesting, playing in the background of everything. All right, let's move on to another championship match, as it is for the Ultra Violent Championship, as Matt Tremont defends it against Mance Warner.
If you are still in here, Ash, I love the close-up on Matt while Emil was announcing him. Something about that felt main event-like and special. Great job. Match opens with a huge slugfest. Then they start headbutting each other. Mance almost immediately went under the ring and started pulling out items. Then Tremont starts pulling out items. Doors and chairs are littered all over the ring. I don't have a count, but a lot were used. We had a door fight with each other bashing the other over the head with the broken doors. Tremont hit an air sabu. Very cool. Out comes the screwdriver, and the Southern Psycho starts stabbing away at Tremont's head. Matt's on the top turnbuckle. He picks up Mance onto his shoulders and slams him through a waiting door bridge below. Our winner here, and still retains the GCW Ultra Violent Championship, Matt Tremont. What did you think about this hardcore main event?
Bravo. These are the matchups. These are the names that I fell in love with in first watching GCW. These are the main events between GCW regulars fighting for a very valuable championship in the company. And yeah, man, like kind of what we were kind of worried about with Manders, with Mance kind of no longer having the world title. We'd wonder where Mance would fall into the GCW flow of things. And he's just still having great spotlight matches against fantastic wrestlers from companies all around the world. And then he's still able to have a classic. Like, this is one of those ones I stopped taking notes. I just loved seeing it because it felt like those were one of those matches that just brought the old school feeling to me that we kind of talk about. Go back and check it out if you're an old school GCW fan. Those two.
Yes.
Bled, they brawled all over the place. They gave GCW crowd in attendance a GCW main event, and yeah, I want to see more legends like this, or GCW legends go at it again. That was awesome main event. Good way to end the night.
So Matt had a couple more things to say when the match ended, and I thought these were very important. The first thing Matt said was, Mance Warner is one tough motherfucker. Coming from Matt Tremont, who's from the old era, that is a huge thing to say. He said there's only still a handful of guys that are around from NGI 1. And Matt said that he's winning Tournament of Survival in his hometown. I think that's our winner. I think that's going to be our TOS winner right now. There's no better way to tell a story, and pushing him out until next year's TOS would be a waste of a champion. What do you think? Do you have a better winner is what I'm thinking.
That's what I'm about to say. I think you guys have talked me into staying with Matt Tremont or John Wayne Murdoch. And if I have to pick between the two in the finals, I would stay Tremont, but I would like to see something further, that Belton story kind of long. Maybe this whole no DQ stuff will get there. I know TOS is probably going to tell an amazing story, hopefully regarding the future and what is possibly future challenges for the belt. My original thought is I wanted to see new blood. I loved seeing all the new blood in the tournament. I wanted to see a new face win it and kind of start reinvigorating the deathmatch scene in GCW. But I think this might be the time to rely on old reliables in the great legends in Tremont and John Wayne Murdoch to carry the tournament and tell a cool story there. Like that, you guys explained that story. We got two of the most prestigious deathmatch tournament in wrestlers in the world fighting for the most prestigious deathmatch championship. It's going to be fun. You guys have definitely changed my mind though. I want to see one of these legends, and I think Tremont makes the most sense to win as well.
Unless there's a really big entry, then it's going to be Matt Tremont at this point. I don't know who would be bigger or better. You know what I mean? If you have a big entry, the only thing I'd do with him was throw him in the main event against Tremont. You know? Vin says, push Nasty Leroy. We need a nasty title run. Reed full-heartedly agrees, as you can tell.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, I think this is it. I don't see, unless there's something major twists and turns at the end, I see this 8 being a strong gate to tell the tournament, but I'm also not a big fan of like a new person just going into the finals. I wouldn't mind seeing maybe someone that lost that was very close earlier in the night, went over the crowd, and hey, they're the alternate, and they get thrown in as the alternate to kind of go with that story. I don't like fresh new names, but storyline, it would make complete sense, and I would be fine with it if it made sense to tell a story. But just throwing in like a random name we haven't seen in forever in the main event just to kind of have a pop, I think would be kind of a waste. Yeah, that's a great one. When we talked about this way beforehand, when this field was kind of first announced, my winner was I wanted Dr. Redacted. I think he's the new blood that the ultra-violent division needs right now. But Tremont is doing what we've asked him to do since becoming the champion, defending it on the West Coast. Back in the East Coast, he's defending that ultra-violent championship in places we didn't expect him to. And his run has been fun. I want to see this run kind of continue from him.
We've got a ton of ideas going on here right now. The only big entry would be Gage attacking Mickey or something like that. Okay, so here's the thing. Brett Lauderdale knows that the smart fans are seeing Tremont walking into the finals. Every smart fan is hearing Matt Tremont in just this last little thing we were talking about here, selling that story. So then I'm trying to figure out how Brett is going to swerve us because he's not straightforward. We all know better. What I'm thinking is that one of the winners gets injured and someone has to step into that position, and that position will be our special person if there is one.
Then throughout the night, I want to see all those winners get clipped. Like, or people that were in the tournament just get knocked out. Like, hey, they're like, you see them, they're surrounded by people calling medical team over. You go, the next person, someone else is down. Like, it's got to be like, for me, my wrestling mind, it's got to be, you got to knock out all the people that deserve to be in that tournament right now instead of just hopping in. But you could also use something to hold it over someone's head to force your way into that position. I think it all depends on how creative you get with stories where it makes sense but I'm a little, more traditional in that kind of sense. I think I like that idea right there. I kind of like something put there. I love when you kind of do full angles and bring everything kind of full circle.
Agreed 100%. Clown says, give me Redacted versus Matt in the finals. Matt wins, that puts Redacted over as the next generation, and his time will come. I see that also.
Was Matt not announced until that night? Like, did I totally miss that and just assume he was announced earlier?
He
I
was
saw the
announced
graphic.
earlier. Yeah, the
Okay.
field of eight was set, I
Been
think, a
announced
couple
for like
weeks
a couple
ago.
weeks.
Yeah.
Okay, that's what I thought. But like, yeah, when I saw like the main was Tremont the last official entry, and I saw the graphic, I was like, did I miss something there? Because then maybe that could affect what kind of happens throughout this tournament.
So Brett has heard it from 100 different directions. The fans always want more than 8. The fans want like 12, 10, 12, something like that. You know, even if a couple of the rounds have to be 3 ways, you know, give us participants. You know, this is a collection of some of the best around the world. Collect them, you know, and that's exactly what fans want. They just want a bigger collection. I really do wish there, and I hope there are more. We'll see what happened there. And Matt just finalized the title will be on the line in true TOS fashion. Thank you so much. I think that's very fair. That's another way Brett could surprise us all. That would suck though, wouldn't it? That would have fucking suck.
I've been calling for whenever these champions do defend these belts in this tournament, for them to let's have 2 or 3 different champions, like keep us on our toes. Let them lose round 1, and holy shit, what's going to happen now? We got a new champion. That person going, nope, they lost. Like, keep people on our toes. I'm excited for TOS and COS weekend, but COS
right there. TOSX
10
is 10. You should have had 10 people in it.
Yeah,
1 for each year.
Either.
Yep.
I like that idea. I like the multi-person matches as well, and yeah, we definitely got to do a bracket whenever they put it out here. We got to post it up here, and maybe we'll do like a little giveaway or something here.
I don't have anything to give away. I'll be giving sympathy.
I might have Game Changer World stuff in the works.
Oh, really?
Possibly.
No kidding. Okay, well, I find out when y'all find out. Yeah, I think 10 for TOSX would have been fucking awesome. I think that would have been really cool and would have been a little more well thought out, I think. We'll see.
Yeah,
we'll see.
I'm excited. I am getting more excited for it.
So I think we close out that one. Was that everything for GCW's run for it?
That is all I have. Yeah, what a what a weekend we covered. That was a lot of stuff, though. Storylines, that's stuff that we've been asking for and dying for. So I was happy. Overall, I was happy for the weekend and excited to come in and talk about it.
Well, we'll kind of just do a quick little thing of what happened this weekend in case you missed it. Miyu Yamashita is still blazing a trail through GCW. Young, Dumb, and Price are still rocking it. Still, though, I'd like to see storyline. The Koga Bros got a new member, Christian Napier, who is a family member, a blood family member, and have now formed a group named Vandal 48. Richard Holiday was pushing Perro's buttons on the Rochester show. Perro caught up and challenged for a match on July 5th in Holiday's hometown. The next night, Vandal debuting ringside with Atticus in his failed challenge for the JCW belt against Masha. Joey challenged Atticus to a dog collar match at COS. We better understand the motivations behind KJ Orso turning on Sam. He ends up blaming Sam for holding him down. Charles Mason attacking Effy from behind. Now we know who wants the title. We also have Matt Tremont stating his intentions to win TOS in his home territory. That to me felt like a full weekend of actual stories, and it gave us a hell of a lot to talk about.
Yes, 2 hours and 45 minutes to talk about. That's easy.
Well, is there anything else you wanted to say about these 2 shows before I get into the tail end of tonight?
I hope over these next few weeks, we get a lot more, because we got 2 weeks, 3 weeks, like with no shows until then. So we got a lot of time between now and TOS and COS for a lot of stories, matches to be booked and stuff and things to be told. But I'm excited, at least Charles Mason. I think we could count on him to kind of keep our interest throughout these next couple of weeks, and Effy as well. Everything that he does online, I'm interested to see what happens and what kind of stories they tell. KJ's been all over social media as well, explaining everything. And yeah, Atticus, like I'm excited that these stories are being told by people that I know for the next couple of weeks are going to get me more and more invested into the upcoming weekend, where instead of just not talking about it for 2 weeks and kind of just letting it fester and lose all the steam, these talents are going to keep us interested, and I'm excited.
Well, I hope people are starting to realize that Game Changer World is very similar to what we did before. I know a lot of people were concerned if we were going to just blow smoke and sunshine up people's butts the whole time. I hope that this episode was one that showed you that we are still keeping with the honesty, what we like, what we don't like. And to Brett, that was important. I think to the wrestlers and to the fans, that's also important. I'm trying to think if there was.
That was kind of nice. No run-ins and
no full. We were only threatened in text. Not bad tonight. Okay, so I'll just go ahead through this again. Please like and subscribe if you haven't already. Hit the bell if you want notified when we go live. We do prefer that you watch on YouTube. This has been the best place for interaction, and it just seems easier on everyone. Super chats are available if you want to donate. You can find B on Twitter at B_GC World, and you can find me on Twitter at GC World Podcast. Please follow us on there. A reminder to go to gcw.com if you want to check out new shirts, hats, hoodies, pins, stickers, and more. Check out GCW on Patreon. We have a podcast with Brett over there called The History of GCW, where we dive back into a GCW show from years ago and discuss never before told stories.
Can I cut you off right there? Please, everyone, subscribe to that Patreon. We just covered Homecoming, Gage versus Cardona. That one was fun to talk about, obviously, because of everything. But a lot of good behind the scenes stories were told on the Patreon as well. So please check that out. History of GCW has been another fun little side project that we kind of helped bring back to GCW and being a part of it. It's been fun. And please check out the Patreon for those episodes as well.
And as always, thank you so much for choosing to spend your time with us tonight. And one of my favorite broadcasters, he passed away a while back, and I just wanted to say something and close the show just like he used to close his show. From the high desert in the great American Southwest, I bid you all good evening, good morning, or good night, wherever you are, and take care. So from Game Changer World here, we will see you next week. And as always, long.
Damn, we still stuck at it.
Live.
G
C
W. Thank you, everyone.
We love you guys. Good night.